Hello, everybody. Welcome
Hello,
back.
hello.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate having you here. I am Danger Water. If you don't know me, this is my bestie, D-Bags. D-Bag. I always put an S on it.
All the
Anyway,
same, it doesn't matter.
it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
There's more than one of you apparently in my brain. But welcome back this week.
Yeah. We were here
If you
last week, I think. I don't know. All the weeks blur together at this
I
point.
know. We were here last week because it was the day before my birthday, I remember, but my brain was so very fried. I was like, as long as I have to show up and look pretty and that's pretty much it, like just weigh in my opinion,
It's your
I'm
only
good for
job.
today's show.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
otherwise,
No, that's fair.
it's not gonna happen for me. Like if I have to show up, it's just not gonna happen. Um, but I actually did my job and prepped. Hey, you know what? Peanut gallery,
Yeah,
boss,
we are
deal.
professionals here. Okay?
We are professionals.
Yeah,
If you are new to our show, bigger thank you for joining us. This is the
absolutely.
Double D Estrogen Power Hour, where we guarantee at least 1 hour of decent content. The rest of it is shenanigans and debauchery,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we enjoy
Absolutely.
doing, and we just figured other people might want to watch us talk our way into circles and bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah,
Yeah. So this is, again, we have this show every Tuesday for the most part,
yes.
bearing birthday festivities, weddings, things like that. But we're here every Tuesday
I
at
like
5 Eastern, 4 Central. My brain always takes like 30 extra seconds to process that time difference, even though it's only like 1 hour. My brain's just not very great at it. And also, if you're watching this later on YouTube, thank you very much. Leave a comment
it.
below telling us what you'd like to see us cover on the show moving forward. If you're watching it from Twitch, go ahead and drop that in the chat. You guys know you're always free to do that. But if you're on YouTube specifically, go ahead and put that shit down below. And
Yeah,
we'll maybe comment back if we feel like it. If we don't
yeah.
feel like it, it's not you, it's us. We promise. Also,
Not you.
don't forget, for those of you who are watching on Twitch, don't forget to clip things that you find particularly
Yeah.
funny. We're going to start incorporating those into our
And
what's it called?
YouTube,
Intro
if you
video.
find stuff that you like to,
Yeah.
drop in the comments the, timestamp or whatever, let us know and we can definitely clip it um
Hmm.
as well. That would be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And on Twitch too, we do, since we hit affiliate, thank everyone so much who helped us get to that point. I know many of you are in the chat, so that's great. We now have the ability to do point redemptions. So if there's anything that you'd like to have as a point redemption, please don't forget to let us know. You can hit us up wherever's. Our socials will be in the chat. It'll be in the description box on YouTube as well. So feel free to join us in our Discord or hit us up on Twitter, TikTok, any of the various places where you can
Yes.
find LTN Media. We would love to see you there.
Hello, G. Hello,
Oh,
Kate.
hi.
G, thank you for the lurk. Love your emojis. Are those ones yours or somebody else's? But I love them. I'm
Love
obsessed.
them either way. Yeah,
Right?
that's amazing.
Super cute.
So, what
Yeah.
happened for
So
you over this weekend? Anything exciting?
lots of outside stuff, like moving we have one of those big wire, like, I don't know, 8, 10 foot high dog kennels. And I moved that because our above ground pool is going to move up to the front yard. But it's
Oh,
been too
nice.
hot to do that part. But so yeah,
Yeah,
outside stuff.
that's fair.
We were going to go see Top Gun or Maverick, but we didn't yet. We might do that this next weekend. Trying to think if I
Hmm.
did anything else fun. I just had Matt. Oh, we went to SmackDown. Matt had bought
I
him and I the
loved that.
WWE SmackDown tickets for Mother's Day, but it fell, the
Yes,
Friday after my birthday. So
right.
uh, it was really funny. And there were like these two older gentlemen uh, in front of us, and they were there like with I think it was granddad, dad, and 3 daughters or daughters in front or whatever.
Hmm.
And the two guys, I mean, they talked about the stuff, but I think their daughters were the fans more than anything, or maybe dude was Can you not? The show is not about you. Yeah, I moved your get over it. And so at the very end, I'm like, I'm so sorry if I like yelled in your ear or whatever. Like Matt and I were just having a great time. And he goes, no, he's like, I actually had much more fun because you guys were sitting behind us. And I'm like,
I love
thanks,
that.
man. I'm like,
Yeah.
my kid like bought these tickets, and I think
That's
I
so
said
sweet.
because of my birthday, but yeah, it was, well, it's sweet-ish. He didn't know that the day his dad bought them, they were buy one, get one. And so his
Wow.
dad was like, hey, if you want, like, you have to pay me back, but I'll get tickets for SmackDown. You have to pay for yours, and then, we'll buy mom's, like, split it in half or whatever for my Mother's Day gift. And so it was, yeah, we were. Chris, when he watched it back, he sent me a snap, and he's like, is this you guys right here? Like, yeah, that didn't take long to pick us out of the crowd.
No, I love it.
Like,
That's
stare at
so
your face
fun.
so many hours a week, and you should find you. Um, but yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, we had a great time. It was exhausting, but it was fun.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
that
I
was
did
my
nothing
weekend.
nearly as exciting. My little brother came into town,
Yeah,
so I got to hang out with him and his puppy,
puppy.
his little puppy Seiko, who is such a little cutie, such a little stinker. He doesn't
I
listen
was
to
gonna
anybody
say
except
he
for my
was getting
brother.
himself into trouble, right?
Oh yeah, he
For
was
not
getting himself into
doing-
trouble left and right, trying to eat everybody's shoes, which he's not allowed to do
Right.
ever. But for some reason, he was especially attracted to my mom's shoes. He was licking my shoes because I was still wearing them. So he just, I mean, they were like soaking wet basically by the time he got done with it.
Yeah.
Um, that's funny. Um, so yeah, it was just nice, a lot of family time, which was good because it was Father's Day weekend. But yeah, we didn't do anything like literally nothing interesting at all. I got to sleep in, which was nice, and then one night I accidentally stayed up reading until like 6 a.m. because I'm super time blind with my ADD. So if I like get into something, legit hours will pass and I'll have like no concept of how long it's been. So next thing I know, it was like quarter to 6 in the morning and I was two chapters from the end of the book. And I was like, at this point, I just have to see it through. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you
Yeah.
can't not.
Right.
So that's what my dumbass did this weekend. Again, not very exciting, but
No, but
it was
hey,
good.
it's obviously a good book. We're not gonna play ball, dude. We're not. Um, and yeah, but a good book. Like having a good book is always great. Sorry, it's like having a toddler here
It
right
really
now.
is.
So, and I know my grandma's gonna leave and run errands. So as soon as she does, I can open the door and he can at least roam out
Yeah,
there.
that's fair.
Should he choose to.
Yeah.
I don't think I've read like actually finished a book in a really long time.
Yeah,
I would like to.
that's fair. There's a lot going on. You know what I mean? So it happens.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But Remy,
Chris. Yeah, you're gonna be a dog owner soon, which is very exciting. And it's a
right?
lot of fun. But the thing is that my brother's dog is like a puppy. He's only like 4 or 5 months old. Actually, he might be
Yeah,
older now. He might be like 6 months old. So he's still like he's house
he's
trained
big
in that
already.
he doesn't like pee in the house, but he
Yeah,
still doesn't know like the fact that you can't just like wreck other people's shit. And he has
right.
no idea. He's growing so quickly. He has no idea the size of
Yeah,
his body.
I
So it's
love that
so
thing.
funny when he's like trying to like back out of something and he just like whips his head into something else and he's like, "Oh man." It's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
cute.
love that stage. Well, and like when their legs are too long and they don't realize it, and their heads are bigger than like they know what to do with. Yeah, I loved that stage. Um,
Yeah,
but that's
it's
super fun.
adorable.
From
Yeah.
Hi, here, take it. Go
So,
away.
Chris, you'll have fun. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And
Those dogs seem very well behaved.
basically like a cat,
Yeah,
you know.
they'll be fine.
Um, but yeah, so you know, what else is new?
Well,
Abs are kicking
uh,
ass,
I know.
which is awesome.
I was so disappointed to see Tampa Bay win last night, but my boss, who lives in Tampa, her husband got them tickets to the fucking owner's suite. So she got to watch the game from there and sent me pictures. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I am so jealous. Like, I've never been jealous of a Tampa Bay Lightning fan in my life, but in that
Yeah,
moment, I very much was. Because,
right.
like, that's cool as shit. Um,
Yeah, I missed
yeah, I
last
mean, I
night's
think that
game.
that's to be expected, though. It was the third game of the series, the first game in Tampa Bay. And like
Yeah,
typically the way that a lot of things go, people are feeling like the energy of being at their home. You know what I mean? With the fans
right,
there really cheering them on. Like that usually that first game tends to go in the way of like the
right,
the home team. I don't think I was
right,
saying that right. So like, meh, I'm not really all that concerned about it. The Avs kicked ass in game two. It's just a matter of like staying on top of their shit.
right. And they will. I mean, it's
Yeah,
the
they
Avs
totally
are
will.
a stronger team in my opinion.
Right.
Uh, but
Oh,
yeah,
they're a much stronger team, but they also need to be healthy, and they kind of aren't, you know?
right. That's very true. Very true. Well, hopefully they'll. So I heard
Yeah.
somebody say they thought the Avs would take it in five, and I am pretty comfortable with that
I
feeling as
mean,
well.
that I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're
You
looking at
do,
minimum six, but I think seven is likely. The
mm,
Tampa Bay are surprisingly good.
right?
Um, so
But
I
done
don't
or
think
not,
done in five is a thing. I mean, I would
um,
love for that. Don't get me wrong, if that happens, yeah, I know you've been saying
right?
Avs in five. I just don't see that happening. If it happens, I'm gonna be so stoked. I
Yeah,
just don't think it's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It would be nice for sure.
Yeah.
Um, well, I don't feel like any. I mean, I know like baseball and shit's going on, but not to like the
I don't
point
give
to
as
in the
much of a
season
shit
where it
about
really
baseball.
matters a ton.
Yeah,
So
same. Yeah.
that's just, yeah, that's about it
Meh.
for sports talk. Shocking that we're talking about hockey. But yeah,
Right? The two
so
of us.
right.
Who
I
would have
did
thought?
share or I found a meme that I screenshotted last night. Um, I don't really watch basketball, so that's awesome.
I mean, yay for the Warriors. Good for
Oh, I
you.
missed the Warrior part. I just saw winning the
There is the Golden State
yeah,
Warriors.
I was gonna say Golden State Warriors.
Hmm.
But yeah,
I'd like to
congrats.
see the Wizards win. That'd be nice.
Um,
That's I guess my team because it's
I
DC.
suppose. Yeah. I've only been to like two NBA games, and they were both Timberwolves games. One was when they played the Lakers when I was a kid, because my dad grew up in Anaheim, so we went there, and that was a great game. It was like 101 and 99, and
Wow.
I think the Wolves won it. I might be remembering that wrong. And then the
Which is
other one was
normal.
when I was pregnant, like out to here, and regretted everything when I got to the arena to walk down the stairs and whatnot.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
that's
no,
fair.
that's awesome. I knew that like playoffs happened and whatnot. I just didn't know like where they were in the playoffs. I don't watch TV.
I
Like I
don't
don't
really
know.
watch basketball, but I get more excited about college basketball than I do
Yeah,
about professional basketball, if I'm
I
honest.
get that. Yeah,
Which I'm
totally.
kind of the reverse on football. I like professional football more than I like college football, but
Yeah,
basketball, it's the other way. I don't know why.
that's fair. And I've
Yeah.
never been to a professional football game. Want to? Never actually been.
I've never been to a regular season game, but I have been to preseason games. So I don't know where that counts on the scale of things. I mean, I guess it
It's
counts because it was two
it
professional
counts.
teams. You know what I
Professional
mean?
game, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and
I'm
then
waiting
I
till
worked.
we get our stadium fixed.
Yeah,
When we get a new stadium, I'll go.
there you go. Um,
Until then,
I did
fuck that shit.
security for the Gophers when they first went into the uh, new stadium, the open air
Hmm.
stadium. That was fun.
That's just my personal opinion I'm putting in the chat, which Chris and I have discussed before and very much agree. Fuck Dan Snyder.
There.
I mean, and there's no one that disagrees with me. So, no one in the world disagrees with me. I'm going to
pretend
put
like
that brave statement out there.
Yeah.
There's no one who legitimately disagrees with that statement. Yeah.
So, for the, I mean, main part of our show, we're gonna do "Am I the Asshole?" We're bringing that back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Much
Dave
needed.
has prepared 90s trivia, music trivia for us. And then
Which I will suck at, but like we'll see how it goes.
I will too, trust me. And the femme fatale and whatnot. So
Yep.
we got a good show.
Just so everyone knows, I didn't write any of these questions. I stole, quote unquote,
Right.
The quiz, groupgames101.com is where I took.
I was expecting
quiz
him to
from.
say BuzzFeed, if I'm honest.
BuzzFeed does have like the epitome of lists.
BuzzFeed has a lot of shit, but the problem with BuzzFeed is, like from what I've seen, they like their structure isn't a great thing to be a part of most of the time.
Yeah, that's what I
like.
Yeah,
it's
there's a lot
really
of
hard
issues
to
with all
work
that.
with BuzzFeed just because of, I guess, how things are scheduled and stuff sometimes. Which I
Right.
don't know. I've never worked with or for BuzzFeed. But like I've seen people talk about, like, who have worked at BuzzFeed, their time at BuzzFeed, and like it's not like it's a corrupt company or anything else. It's just apparently like a really high pace, like high stress environment.
Right.
Yeah, there's
one
like
guy
a million
compared
and
it
four
to being like
videos
a
as to why I left
stockbroker.
BuzzFeed.
Right.
Yeah.
Very high demand.
Oh.
So, but yeah,
Absolutely.
let's get into some Am I the Asshole? Unless you have anything else first.
Nah, let's kick it off.
Do
Absolutely.
you want to go first, or do you want me to?
I think you have more, so I think you should go first.
Okay. All right. So the first one is I just realized the person that posted this is Amber's666.
That's hilarious.
So am I the asshole for kicking my husband's friends out of the pool? I'm a working, sole income earner for the time being. Mother, I think it was supposed to say mother of two. My husband has been struggling to find a job for 16 months. I don't know what's up with that. And so I've been solely paying for everything. As you know, it's summertime, and the kids want to go to the beach every weekend, but I'm often working, and my husband won't bother to take them unless he uses my car, which is a no from me because I need it for work. So I put my money towards renovating and upgrading our old pool so the kids could use it. Thing is, once the pool was ready, my husband started inviting his friends to come over, and they use it for hours. They've basically taken over, preventing the kids from enjoying it. They complained about being denied the pool, the children, several times, which caused them to get upset, which is understandable.
Fair. Yeah, that's
So what I did was I talked to my husband about it and telling him to limit his friend's usage of the pool. He flipped out at me saying it's his house/water too, and I can't control what he does and who he brings. I got mad and in return told him tomorrow the kids get the pool or else I will ban his friends from it completely. He side-eyed me and said, fine, they can have the damn pools tomorrow. Well, the next day, my daughter calls me crying, saying Dad brought his friends over and refused to let her and her brother play in the pool. I was livid. I literally left work right then and went home. I saw him and his friends in the pool messing around, and I just screamed my head off, telling them to get out. My husband tried to get involved, but I told him off, and all of his friends had to leave. He blew up at me for acting like a lunatic and said that I was being controlling and shameless. I said I already told him to let the kids play in the pool, yet he ignored my request. And he yelled at me saying that just because I paid to fix the pool doesn't mean I own it. He then went back inside and started calling his friends one by one to apologize on my behalf, since he said I was too shameless to do it myself. Then he left the house and hasn't been back yet. Edit for a few things, clarification. Number one, I paid for the pool to get renovated, upgraded. 2, he and his friends are always there using it, giving me and the kids zero chance to spend time in it. He and his friends trash the pool every single time by dropping food and drinks, and I end up having to clean it myself.
How old is this guy again? Like, did they say? Does
It
OP
didn't
say
say.
any ages?
No.
I mean, you would expect that out of like 26-year-olds, honestly.
Right.
But like, even then, it would still be fucked up. But like, I could see
Right.
that as like 26-year-old behavior. But either way, that's so fucked. Like, I mean, first of all, the guy's a mooch. Like, he's just
100%.
using like her and her money. And if he's not, and then he's like lashing out because he's so ashamed that he can't provide. Which either way, dude, like, figure your shit out and don't put your kids in the middle of all of this. Yeah,
Right.
exactly right. A whole ass child. Like,
Right.
you have kids, they're on their summer break. Like, let them be in the fucking pool. You and your
Right.
buddies don't need to use it. You know what I mean?
I
You can
think,
drink
like,
on the sidelines, whatever, but like,
right.
let the kids get into the fucking pool. And
Right.
also, don't be a slob. That's rude as shit. Don't make your wife clean up after you.
Right.
And wives should make their husbands clean up after them. Like, clean up after your damn selves. You're adults.
Right.
The fuck?
Yeah. And your friends. Like, if you invite people over to the house, unless you had, like, your partner's either being really helpful and nice, or you had pre-talked about it. But if you're the one that bring people over, you're responsible for everything that they did, damaged, made a mess, whatever. Like, and hi, Brandy. Yeah, he is like being an entire freaking child.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
And yeah, it just, so it was at the bottom, it said, offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. And she said, I might be the asshole for going off on everyone and kicking them out. Now my husband
Nah.
said I ruined pretty much all of his relationships with his friends. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
If your friends were that turned off by the wife
Yeah.
getting rightfully pissed, they weren't that great of friends.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, very much she's not the asshole whatsoever.
No.
And I'd be pissed
No,
too.
she's well within her right to fucking scream.
Yeah.
I'd
Like,
be
make a compromise.
doing more than just
Let
screaming.
dude bring his buddies over once a week. Tops. You know, like, you don't need to
Right.
be there every day.
Or like set
Yeah.
hours too. Like, they can come
Yeah.
over at like after 6 p.m.
Yeah.
and the kids can
There's
have
still
it during the
plenty of time.
daytime when they should be fucking doing daytime kid shit.
Right.
And they can have it at night when they're supposed to be doing nighttime adult shit. Like, there's totally a livable middle here.
Right.
Also, how are
Absolutely.
so many of his friends available during the day to just like dick around in somebody else's pool?
That's a very good question.
Like, that seems like an issue to me as well.
That's
I don't think I
very-
could call up any of my friends right now and have more than one of them be like, yeah, I could probably get off work, but it'd be like for a special occasion kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. So this guy, like, for instance, what if the last job he did work at was an overnight job and all his buddies still work there overnights? They'd be available
Fair.
during the day.
Fair.
They also wouldn't be available in the evening because they'd need to be sleeping and not hanging out before they went to work.
That's fair. That's a good point. However, they're still
They're
assholes.
still fucking adults, and the kids.
Yeah.
I'm not defending this.
Right. I didn't think that you were saying that. Yeah.
But also, you know, like, as far as the whole mooch thing, we don't know the whole situation. He might have, like, okay, for instance, if he's a member of a trade, right? If there's not work, you don't work.
16 months is a
if you lost
really
his
long
job,
time to be without.
I've known electricians who've been out of work and waiting for a job to come through the union hall for that long.
But, and the way it was written, I don't think he's a union tradesman.
I don't think
Yeah.
so either. I don't think he's a union tradesman, at least. But like, there are circumstances. This also could have been in the middle of COVID time. Like,
Right.
that 16 months, a huge chunk of that was
Well, and
COVID time, and we don't know what part of
so
the country they live in. So it's very possible that the homie legitimately, there's just no work to have.
potentially.
At least
But
that he's qualified for, because we don't know what his qualifications are.
Right.
We know he's not a medical professional. Medical professionals have a real easy time finding work.
Yeah. Right now.
but yeah,
Yeah, I just don't think
still
that it's any of this.
disrespectful. It's still,
Yeah.
But I
you know,
don't.
like,
I'm just saying, guy's a dick for not letting his kids in the pool. But I don't think we should attack his ethic or willingness to be an earner based on the fact that he didn't have a
No.
job for 16 months.
no. And I wasn't saying that. I was just saying, like,
I was calling
yeah,
him a
that's a
mooch for
long
sure.
time
He
to not
called
have a
him a
job.
mooch. And
I
yes,
for
that's
sure
a
called
long
him
time.
that because he's not contributing. The fact that the wife
Ew.
said that like the kids want to go to the beach on the weekends, but he refuses to take them unless he drives her car. Like,
Right.
granted, there could be something wrong with his car, but she's not saying like his car isn't safe for kids and therefore can't transport. It's
Right.
very much like he wants to
He's
take my
refusing to
stuff.
parent his
Well,
children
right,
and be
but if he
involved in
took
their
her
life.
car, then she could take his car to work. It sounds like they have one car, and I'm sorry, I'm not taking children to the beach on a weekend in public transportation.
No, but even as
No,
far as like the fact that she did, like, she's being the sole or earner, she's the one that paid it. She paid it so that the kids could have the water to play in over the summer. And instead, he just takes it over with complete
Oh,
disregard. And instead of letting the kids swim with him and his buddies, or, you know, they can sit and drink and chill on the outside while the kids play, he's just flat out like, no, you're not allowed to come outside from the house. Like, that's not fair. And if he's home with the children, he should be
but see,
parenting
that's
the
a,
children. Even if they're teenagers, he should be more aware of
I
what
think
they're
her
doing.
point of like why that makes him a mooch is because she paid all the money and he's then using it solely to his benefit.
right.
Right.
That's the part that makes him a mooch.
Right.
We were talking about the beach thing, though. And it
Well,
sounds like
I'm
they
saying
only have one
that's not
vehicle,
what.
and I am not
Yeah,
taking children to the beach
I
in
don't
public transportation.
I don't
So
agree with that
I
only
don't see
because
a
she said he wants to take my car. If she
right.
didn't say he wants to take my car, what I assume automatically is like the situation that my parents were in for many years, which is that my dad drove a stick shift and my mom drove an automatic. And while my mom can drive a stick shift, she doesn't like to because, you know, she doesn't do it that often. So she'll often like stall out or like
Right.
hear the gears grind and all that kind of shit. So there
I'm
wouldn't
Here,
be a situation in which case taking my dad's car would be a good time for her. If he wanted to take her car, she would get pissed because she's like, I then am stranded because I don't like driving your vehicle because it's not possible for me to drive.
see, and I see that as a
So that's how
possibility
and
too.
maybe that's because I have
he,
my
But
like
there,
my background.
here,
I'm seeing it through that lens specifically.
see, and
and what
the household I grew up in, we primarily had one vehicle. Is all we ever really had when I was younger.
Yeah.
what I interpreted reading that is that, you know, taking two kids to the beach is messy. Your car's going to get full of sand. It's not
Yeah.
going to be fun. I don't think he wanted to deal with the mess. And that's why he insisted on taking the kids in her car.
Fair.
Is
That's
what
fair.
I interpreted or pictured when I read that one. Personally.
That's fair.
But
But there's, I mean, a million reasons. And a lot of those, like, that's why I wasn't calling him a mooch because of the beach thing. I'm saying he's like claimed this as his own when she's the one that paid for the renovations of it for ideally in majority for the kids or for them to enjoy as a family, and he has completely taken it over
look,
and
all I'm
refuses to
all
let
I'm
kids be
trying to
part of it.
do, and I'm not saying that this man is right, and I never have. Like, from the beginning, I haven't sided with the no, I get the pool, because that's bullshit. But the thing that I'm trying to point out is that we don't have enough actual information here to make,
Right.
other than the guy's a dick about wanting to use the pool and not
Every
letting the kids
day
use
and
it.
refusing to
We
let
don't
kids
have
use
enough
it.
information to make value judgments about any other aspect of anything she talked about.
That's fair.
He's
That's
a dick
fair.
for not letting the kids use the pool. But he's
Right.
not necessarily lazy. There's a very fair chance he just couldn't find work.
Right.
There's a
And I
very
don't think he's
reasonable
lazy
chance that
because of that. I think he would be lazy because he's refusing to parent his children and letting them be a part of it. He's
I think it's
basically saying your
a
opinion
confluence
doesn't
of
matter.
items.
If you want to use the pool, you can't. Like, I'm dad, my thing, that's more
And my
where
thing is that it's a
I'd love
combination
to
of the
sit in a
two.
pool all day and sit and float and
Yeah,
drink too.
same.
That's ideal. Can I? No.
Yeah, my
Because
thing
there's
is
stuff to
he
do.
hasn't
Especially if
found
he's
work in
not working,
16
he should
months,
be hanging
which
out around the house. Or
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
minimum, he should be cleaning up after his buddies.
Oh no,
And he-
100%.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying
I'm
is
not
that it's
disputing.
not only did he not get a job for the last 16 months, which could be work-related
there's
issues
a
due
lot of
to his
talent.
career, COVID, whatever, but that combined with the fact that he isn't doing stuff for the kids while they're home, like if you aren't going to step up financially to take care of the household, and the household meeting like chores, the household meaning finances, like everything that it takes to run a family. If you're not going to step up financially, then you have to step up labor wise
Right.
in whatever capacity you can. Like if he were to be, bound to a wheelchair and so therefore couldn't be doing, X, Y, or Z in terms of vacuuming or doing any of that, totally understandable. There's other ways to contribute, such as reading to your kids or doing any of that. It doesn't sound like that's happening. It sounds like he's ignoring his kids. He's taking advantage of things that the wife has bought. That's why I specifically think I can make a value judgment.
Right.
No.
To each their own.
I'm saying
there are aspects of it that more information would be helpful. And that one was
Right.
posted yesterday. So it's been
Yeah,
up
so it
for a
doesn't
day.
sound
The
like
judgment hasn't even been in yet. So more info
Yeah.
and updates might come in. And I get it. I've absolutely lost my mind out of anger and gone off on more so my ex than anybody because I've aged and matured too. But um, you have those moments where you're at your wit's end and you lose it, and then you feel guilty about it, and you're like, I mean, I
Yeah.
get why she's like, was that an asshole thing to do? But she flat out said, do not have your friends over tomorrow. Let the kids use the pool. And had he just done
Right.
that one thing, if you look at the bare bones of what the article really is about, is am I an asshole for this thing? And that was her one request, was let the kids use the pool tomorrow. And he, refused to do it.
I don't
That,
think, and I don't think she was an asshole to him at all.
no.
I don't know enough about how she actually interacted with the friends and how the friends were reacting to know whether or not she was an asshole to them. Because if she came in freaking out and screaming and they're like, hey, we didn't know, we'll just leave, and she kept screaming, yeah, you're an asshole. But if the friends were being dicks and you kept screaming, you're fine.
Right.
You know.
Well, and she said she was, lost it with her or towards her husband, and just told everybody to get out and go home. And honestly, it's like that feeling, or I imagine it being that feeling of you ever been at a friend's house when you were growing up, when mom or dad came home and they weren't supposed to have people over, and they got in trouble, and you're with, I'm like, sorry, I'll go. Excuse me, I didn't know it was a bad thing. That's kind of what I imagine this was like, which is again relating it to high schoolers, because that's kind of how he's behaving.
How they behave, yeah. Absolutely.
And honestly, if it really ruined significantly all of his relationships with these friends, then the friends were probably just like, hey, let's go have beers at so-and-so's pool.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to know their ages just out of
sheer curiosity.
Yeah. And the ages of their kids. Because if they're
because that makes it a
8,
big
9
stress.
and dad's out in the pool drinking all day, that's not okay.
Right.
But if they're 14, 15, 16, they can be pretty self-sufficient.
He should still be giving them access to the pool, but yeah.
Well,
fine.
So here's
right. Exactly.
So here's this isn't the case, but funny scenario in my mind where dad is the 100% in the right, because this is the only way dad is in the right in this.
Okay.
The children are both in their 30s. And
maybe.
And dad and mom are in their 50s, and dad just wants to hang out with his friends and his rowdy fucking kids. His spoiled ass kids. That's the only, like, I'm thinking like
Even then,
Hamptons
though, like,
TV drama, like
I
levels
mean,
of.
like, let
but even then, like, let
them
your kids,
date.
even if they're 30, let them have a day in the pool. You know what I mean? Like, it can't be yours all the time.
Let
I
them
picture they're
get
like,
drunk
You know what
with
I
you and
mean?
your friends at that point. Fuck it.
12, 13, 14,
Yeah, at that
maybe.
point, I mean, I go out drinking with my dad all
Yeah.
the time. Not all the time,
Oh,
but
fuck yeah.
frequently.
I mean, you were
We
what,
drink
just having
together.
beers and barbecuing with them 2 days ago? 3 days ago? What night was that?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to a
Yeah.
brewery with a barbecue joint attached to it. It was really good.
That's
And, you know, before that, like, what was it, 3 or 4 weeks ago, me, my dad, and my cousin split an entire, like, liter of fucking Grey Goose in one night. So clearly we
That's
don't have a
right.
problem drinking together.
Right.
Yeah. Which was a lot of good. That was a lot of fun.
But like, that's one of the things with Am I the Asshole when I see posts that I try to do sometimes is like come up with some outlandish story that just makes everything okay. And that's the
Right.
only way this happens is if these are like
All right.
the kids
Yeah.
don't even
I
live in the
think
house, they
we
just
are
come over to
good.
play in the pool.
All right.
Yeah, I think we are good to move into the next one.
Sorry.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, so am I the asshole for not letting marathon cyclists cut through my land as they have been doing for years? My husband and I bought a home with 15 acres about 4 months ago. On our land, we have 2 gates on either side of the field. It was once used for farming, and it's a good distance from my actual house, probably about 4 acres. Well, last week we received a mail notice with a reminder to open both gates for the upcoming bike marathon thing that they apparently have every year, which allows the access for the cyclists to cut through to get back onto the main road. Neither my husband nor I are okay with this. Firstly, I truly do not want a bunch of cyclists on my property. As it is, we already can't do anything that day because our whole street is blocked off. Not only that, but this was not mentioned in the sale of the home either. If any of these people were to get hurt on my land, I would be deemed responsible, and it is not something that I was willing to accommodate. So I go to the town hall and tell them that our property was not going to be used as a shortcut for cyclists to get back to the main road, and they said that they would need to find an alternative route. It was argued that this is not how things have been run for the past 6 years, and that it would take far too long to map out a different route on such short notice. I told them that is not my problem. While the day came and went, we kept the gates closed, and despite that fact, despite the fact that these cyclists were supposedly told that they couldn't use our property, a lot of them still showed up and got pissed that the gate was closed. I was outside doing gardening when one of the cyclists started berating me for not having it open, stating that I was a, quote, selfish Karen, and said, quote, look at me, afraid of bikes. Let me be a giant about it. Am I the asshole? I should not have read that word out loud. But I'm not very good at seeing things and not reading them. My bad. Not being a giant C word about it. Whoops. Anyway,
To be fair, it
so that's where
sounded
the
like you
post
said
ends.
cut, so I thought you just said cut.
No, I said the other bad C word.
I got it.
Which
I got it. There's the censor sound. I got it. It came in late, but I got it.
Good.
Someone said, I feel like I'm the asshole because it wouldn't have harmed me to just let them use my land, but I just simply didn't want to. I didn't want to be held liable for injuries.
That's fair.
100% so my opinion is like 100% not the asshole. Like, you are at no point obligated to let somebody else use your land for anything. I don't care how long the city's been hosting this fundraiser. The fact that it wasn't mentioned to you in the sale of the house, like, even if it had been mentioned in the sale of the house, it would have had to have been like, here's a binding contract with the city of whateversville. Like, you have to let them do it this year, and then they can, you know, renegotiate for next year.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
right.
that's
and
fine.
That's kind of like the ideal compromise, right? Would be letting
right,
them
but like they weren't notified of it. They bought the house 4 months ago, and then like a week before the event, we're told like, "Hey, you have to let like 50 cyclists through your freaking yard," which like also like bikes tear up a path, so it could 100% already be a worn path, but that might not be their goal for that property.
Right.
Like, it might be their goal to get it back to being totally like perfect workable land. At which point, having the cyclists come through would fucking disrupt that.
Yeah.
So no way are they the assholes. The cyclists are the assholes for continuing to be mean about it. Like, you were told.
Yeah.
That's not my fault you can't read a map.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it obviously, like, should have been said in the sale of the property. Especially, it's not like the event had like happened 2 months ago and they forgot. Like I could kind of see that. So it's coming
Yeah.
up 4 months in advance. Dog, what the flip are
Yeah.
you doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't want their property. And what if somebody falls and then they get hurt and they're suing the owners of the land because they fell on their
Mm-hmm.
land? You know darn well the whatever we're putting on the marathon aren't going to cover it. I
Right.
fully understand that.
Yeah.
I fully get it. I mean,
See,
yeah, like
I would have
perfect.
taken a shit in their yard. That's funny. I
That's
mean, they were perfectly
totally
capable of opening the gate. They just don't want to. And I think that that's their right. It's
fine.
their
It's
property. Like, I don't want
their
people using
property.
my
Right,
property either.
right,
You know what I mean? But one of the comments I thought was really fucking funny was, wow, 6 whole years? How dare you break such a time-honored tradition?
right.
I've got socks that are older than that, which, yeah, I do.
Fair. Fair. 100%
So,
fair.
yeah,
Um,
I thought that
Interesting.
one I thought that one was pretty straightforward in terms of
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, I get it. Like,
Like,
could they have
I
opened the
mean, could they
gate?
have
Is
been
it
nice
that
and
big
let
of a
him do it
deal?
one time? Yeah, they could have.
Right.
But I understand, the legality side of things and whatnot.
Well, especially like they just bought their house. There's no guarantee that they even have like homeowners insurance set up yet
Right,
because and I don't know, they didn't, state which state or country they even live in, but it's not the
right,
same everywhere where you have to have it like in order to move into an apartment in my state, you have to have renter's insurance.
right,
That's not the same with like buying property. You don't have
right,
to have it in order to take hold of the property. So if that's the case, like they only moved in 4 months ago, they might not have even that had set up. So the
right,
worry about like injuries could be totally legit because they would have
right.
no way to be covered for that.
Yeah.
So
All right. My next one is,
that's me.
am I the asshole for refusing to let my future husband lie about the house he and I purchased during his groom's speech? My fiance, 37 male, and I, 33 female, got engaged a few months ago. We're getting married soon, and invitations were already sent out. Right now, we're focusing on much smaller details. We've also been busy moving into our new home that we purchased together, 30% of his savings and 70% of mine. I have to say that saving up for this house took most of my savings and prevented me from enjoying the things I love to spend my money on. My
Mm.
fiance sat me down yesterday to talk about his groom's speech. He talked about a few points, but what made me upset is when he asked if I would be okay if he mentions the house we bought and said that he was the one who bought it. I was a bit taken aback. I asked why, and he said it's just a confidence boost during the speech, and that's it. I said I didn't feel comfortable with the idea because I think it's unfair not to acknowledge the fact that I sacrificed so much to be able to buy the house. That's not fully fair. But I reminded him of how much I contributed, but he said that that doesn't change that it's our house, so it shouldn't matter to me if he bought it himself or we both did. I refuse because when people will always think that the house was bought by him, which is something that they will never change no matter how hard I tried to prove that I contributed 70%. He got mad at me and said that I was really overthinking this whole thing, making a big deal out of it. And we got into an argument, and he started yelling, saying it's just one favor he's asking me to do, and yet I'm making this ridiculous small request my hill to die at. He's basically sulking, and now he's out and refusing to answer my calls. So basically, he started the silent treatment until I cave in. Am I the asshole for making this my hill to die on? Edit. My fiance comes from a more humble background, and money has always been a struggle for him and his family. It's become obvious how insecure he can be when it comes to money, especially when he compares how much I make versus how much he makes. I've never made him feel as less than, and he has never taken advantage of me in any way. So his recent request really caught me off guard, to say the least. I would say, in the whole of the situation, not the asshole, because I get it. But the whole line of, I sacrificed so much more, it was not fair to say.
Yeah.
Especially if she comes from more money as a family or a higher paying job. You know, I get that.
Where she's able to. Yeah.
Right. But it's definitely something that I don't think it's at all fair for him to say that he bought it himself.
No. In no world is it okay to say that that's something you did alone. If he
Right.
wanted to say it as like, you know, we both worked hard and saved up and, you know, we're so grateful to have been able to buy a house together, like that's fine. You know what I mean? If he wants to be the one to say it instead of her, like I would have no issue with it. But the fact that he wanted to say that he bought it alone, like, and also to say that it was his way to boost his confidence. Why does like lying about shit that you buy boost your confidence? I've never understood that.
Right. I mean, it's
You know?
an amazing feat to buy a house with a partner. Like, just being a
Yeah.
homeowner is
And
freaking
still,
awesome. You
yeah.
know, it doesn't matter who's the one that
Who,
paid
yeah.
more. If you
They
get divorced, you get
sacrificed
it
so much
50-50.
avocado toast to be able to afford that house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
just
like,
it should be a 50.
unless he was
We bought
saying,
this house. It doesn't matter.
right. If she were to like throw a bitch fit because he wanted to say we bought it together and she wanted him to be like, well, I bought more of it, like then I'd be like, no, you're the asshole. But like
Right.
him wanting to specifically lie and say it was all him, she's the asshole. I also
Yeah.
think that like we don't know the whole circumstance, but I would agree with you just from what we do know that her being like, I had to sacrifice so much more than you is
Right.
kind of a shitty thing to say.
Right.
And unless the circumstance is that they're making the exact same amount of money and for whatever she was tasked with putting in more money than he was. But I have a feeling that it's more like an equitable split based off of their earning differential. Like,
Mhm.
and maybe that's just my opinion. My opinion is if you're both working jobs and like you're living together and you have to pay rent, rent should be sort of split on who can pay more of it. So you both have the same like
Right. You
benefit
do like a
of
certain percentage
funds.
of your income or something.
Right.
Like, you know, you figure it out so that it's
It does,
fair.
yeah, like it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
50-50 because your pay
Right.
isn't usually 50-50. If I'm
Right.
making 10,000 more dollars than you a year, then yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna probably pay a couple hundred more bucks a month to afford like our apartment because I just
Right.
think that that's only fair. You know what I mean? I
Right.
have the money to do
Yeah.
so, and that way we both get equal amounts of money to
Right.
spend on the shit that we want to spend it on, which isn't,
Right.
you know, no one wants to spend their money on rent.
Right.
So like I totally get that, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's
a stupid request. I agree.
yeah. Anyway, read your next one. I can still hear you, so I can still listen to it, but I'm gonna go feed these guys so they shut the fuck up.
No worries. All right. Next one. Am I the asshole for refusing my cousin's ask to bring a baby to my wedding? I, 27 female, am getting married to my partner, 32 male soon. We have one baby together. From the very beginning of when we announced our wedding, since before we postponed due to COVID, we have been clear that no babies or children are invited to our wedding. Having our own baby hasn't changed that. We love the little bugger, but that doesn't earn them an invite. We want to drink, we want to listen to music that children shouldn't hear, and we want to swear if it's necessitated by the conversation, and truthfully, maybe even if it isn't, which I love that because obviously we're all about the swear words here. Some people grumbled initially, but everyone who really wanted to come have agreed to leave their kids home. In the last few days, a cousin phoned and asked if he and his wife could bring his baby. We said no. We explained he explained that their sitter canceled and all of their other normal sitters will be at the wedding. It sucks, yeah, but we still said no. Clearly, this hasn't been taken well. They started posting on Facebook about how we're against children. That was mostly ignored by us and by our family. It was childish and annoying, but we didn't want the gloom over all of our excitement. When their posts didn't get us to change our minds, they started going further by saying how we're causing them to lose money, costs of flights, hotels, clothes, and so on, and that has caused some heat from extended relatives, but we still didn't change our minds. Then they started the name calling and more whining to my parents and grandparents, and that's when I lost it. People were saying that we should reimburse them for their losses or that we should make an exception for their kid. I commented on their Facebook and made my own post that they didn't buy their flights or lodging. I posted pictures of our texts and my receipts. My partner and I paid for most of our out of town cousins because we were inviting them to the celebrations with uh, the celebrations that were a few days prior as well. Knowing that there'd be days off needed and sitters in some cases, we worked it out that we could afford it and we offered. We didn't make it known for fear that some people would be hurt that we didn't pay for everyone. Now they're saying they're not coming, and neither is my cousin's mother, not related to me by blood, so that's not really a big deal to me. But people are giving them mad crap for it. That said, some people are telling me that I should have taken the high road and just let him complain. I think that I did that for as long as I could. Maybe I shouldn't have called it out publicly, but he and his wife were calling me out. Am I the asshole for shaming them and explaining that no, they didn't lose anything and making them look bad? OP has offered that they could be the asshole for calling their cousins out publicly and making them look bad, and so just ignoring it and dealt with a few pesky comments.
Right.
Thoughts?
No, I don't think that they're the asshole for that one.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
like, yeah, it sucks. Your babysitter canceled or, had an issue or whatever. But sorry. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly.
especially
I
if their
mean,
own baby isn't there. You know what I mean?
yeah. It'd be different if, like, yeah, they're the only people not allowed to bring their kid, which I would
Right.
also still be agreeable to because some people's kids are fucking awful. I don't want them around me.
Right.
Like, that doesn't
Right.
make me an asshole. It
Especially at
just
my
makes me
wedding.
practical.
Like, and I can see, like, I think the no children rule is a lot more for like that, like 3 to 18 range where they're complete assholes. No. But like once they start really running around and getting into stuff, and you don't want the mess of that.
Mhm.
Whereas infants are usually pretty fine. But still, if you don't want them there, you don't want them there, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the end of the world whatsoever.
Yeah, I think it's more people were because some people were saying that they're the asshole because they specifically went on Facebook and said, "Excuse you, I actually paid for your flight and I paid for you to stay in the hotel room." But I'm like, I don't think that's bad at all. They went
Oh,
on Facebook saying like, not only are they not allowing us to have our fucking kid here, but now like we are losing out on pay, we're losing out on the money we spent on flights, like all this stuff. And if that's just not true, then like yeah, I'm well within my right to bring receipts to that tea
yeah,
party. You know what I mean?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so not OP at all, or not the asshole at all. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Child-free weddings I see all the time, like, as something that get people heated. Like, but my
Yeah,
child is
I've
an
noticed
angel.
so many
No,
people that
Karen,
are
he's
like
a jerk.
pissy about that.
Yeah. All the time. And it's like,
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to tell you my kid can be an asshole. Is he always?
Yeah.
No. But,
There were
does that mean that?
there weren't children present either time I got married.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
totally
mean, we
fine. I
had
think one of my
some, but
cousins had a child-free wedding, except for the fact that like his cousin that owns the venue that they were hosting it at had a kid. So he was like the only kid allowed, I think.
yeah.
And that's like one of those things where they were giving him a discount, I think, on the property. So like,
Well,
but
and
for
if
the most
you're
part, nobody cares.
the child of the owners of this venue, you're probably been around a wedding or two and you know how to behave.
Yeah.
Seriously? You're annoying. Go away. And yeah, that's one thing. I mean, that's like my mom used to be able to take me to work with her all the time when she worked in an
Yeah.
assisted living. Could you take any kid to one on day one? No. But I grew up around it and I knew how to behave myself.
Now I
Well,
will
it's
say, I think their reasoning for like not having kids is because they want to be able to drink and curse and listen to bad music,
Right,
which you can
right.
do anyway. Like I've always had the opinion
100%.
that like say whatever you want in front of kids, let them know that like some words other people don't like to hear, so don't go around repeating
Right.
this. Otherwise,
Yep.
you are well within your rights to
It
be told
Well,
off.
and
You
the
know what I
more
mean? Like,
you like hide children from that stuff, the more they want to do it. My rule
yeah,
with Matt has always been like, well, not always, but since he was like 9
right,
or 10, you can cuss. You just can't cuss at people or at the dogs, like out of anger, outside of like stubbing your
right,
toe and whatever. Uh, but otherwise,
right.
to me, they're words. Although I did just have to have the conversation with him over the weekend of like, dude, when you say fuck every other word, it really loses its emphasis, like It's not quite like it's like the extra spicy on top of a sentence.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it all the time. So,
Now, I do think that there's
uh,
certainly situations like I don't curse in front of the kids that I coach because I know that
right,
their parents don't appreciate that. Even
right,
without talking to them, like that's just a normal societal thing where like that's not going
right.
to happen. But like
Well,
at a
and you're
wedding, if my cousins are around, like I don't give a shit. I'm gonna say whatever I want to say. You
right.
can't tell me nothing.
I think I said this on some stream I was on. I don't know if it was one of ours or one of mine or one of somebody else's. But one of my favorite things to do is swear in front of other people's children.
Yeah, but like I get why Dee doesn't, especially in that coaching perspective,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you're in a position of power and influence.
Right.
But yeah, it's who cares? I get like not wanting your kids to see you drunk. I get all of that shit, you know. And just not
Yeah.
having to worry about the kids. You know, kids
But
get
that's my
bored
thing
and then
too.
they
Like,
demand
who
to go
doesn't want
home.
to go
And
to? Yeah. Who
yeah,
doesn't want that? Like, as a parent, wouldn't you be happy that it's like a child-free wedding because you can
yeah,
just let loose. You don't have to worry about them. You
exactly.
don't have to see what they're getting into. You don't have to deal with
Right.
their sticky jam hands. Like,
And their
nobody
sticky
wants that.
jam hands. I forgot that's a thing you say.
We always have sticky jam hands and snotty
Always.
runny noses.
Now, I will
Always.
Yeah,
say,
nobody
I
wants to deal
will
with that.
say, like, there's a point where, like, if their child had been, like, 17, fuck it, let them come.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that for me, if I'm going to say I want a kid-free wedding, we're talking about like
Like
13
12
and up,
and
I'd
under?
allow.
Right.
Yeah. 12 and under
Yeah.
is a
Because I'll tell
no-go.
you,
13 and
Matt
up,
behaved
okay.
amazingly. At my sister's wedding. Now, granted, you know, he was a groomsman and he knew he had, you know, would have eyes on him and whatnot, but he was great. So yeah, I think like that 13, 14 age and up, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, think
Absolutely.
about a baby. The baby is going to get tired or cranky, or like you got to get up every 5 seconds to change their diaper, figure out why they're throwing everything up. Like, it's stressful to have an infant. And when you're at an event where
Yeah.
like,
Look, you
yeah,
only have to see
to
one.
be there.
You only have to see one video of somebody changing a baby's diaper at a wedding, and that baby projectile shits down the back of the bride's dress
God,
to not want
Can you
babies at your
imagine?
wedding.
Could you imagine?
You only need to see that once.
Yeah.
Uh,
For sure.
yeah, like Matt was 16 months old when his dad and I got married, and he was there. Like he was a ring bearer. I had 2 ring bearers and 2 flower girls because I wasn't sure if Matt and Brenna were actually going to walk down because they were both 16 months old. But I had actually enlisted my sister's friends who were all 14. A couple of them. So Matt hung out at the reception for an hour or two, had dinner, and then the girls took him to the hotel room and babysat him. And they watched movies and popcorn, like, you know, the teenager hotel thing. All they had to do was put him in the crib to put him down. He slept in my parents' room that night. And that was phenomenal. Like, I got the best of both worlds. But it was also my wedding. Like, as the bride, I didn't want to have to worry about my child.
Yeah.
One of my favorite pictures of Matt from that day, though, is him in the high chair at the reception, and he's got a butter knife in his hand, and he's like this. Like, pointing it at somebody like, feed me, bitch.
I love that. That's
and it's just adorable. But yeah, I totally get it. Like, and even back when I got married in 2010, and child-free weddings weren't, if they were a thing, it wasn't as big of a thing as it is now, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely a huge thing now.
But yeah, and I think that people have every right to do that. That's a whole lot of added stress.
It is.
It's stressful enough to, like, keep the drunk wandering friends in case in the reception, as I found at Lexi's wedding.
Yeah.
To then, like, worrying about an actual toddler running away, you know what I mean? Or getting taken. Like, people crash weddings all the time, you know? Like, it's
depending on where the venue is, like, there are random people walking around. If it's not at a barn in the middle of nowhere where, like, a stranger's going to be fucking noticed, you know what I mean? Like, if it happens, you know, at a country club, like, people are doing shit anyway.
Okay. Right. So, real shit, life hack. if you have a drunk friend who is just intent on getting themselves in trouble, something that I've done in the past to keep them occupied is I tell them, hey, you know those little elf on the shelf things? I have a little gnome like that I've hidden somewhere in this room. If you can find it, I'll
Oh
give
my
you
God.
$100. That has
I wish you
never
would have told me
failed.
that
That has
prior to the
never
wedding
failed.
night.
Right.
Because I absolutely would have said that to the girl that wandered.
Yeah.
And then did I tell you, Dee, that like the Saturday after, they had to go back and they spent 7 hours looking for her keys and debit card because she lost them somewhere.
Oh my God.
And like, did they go
That's
into, because
hilarious.
the reception hall was attached, like it's a separate venue, but it's attached to an assisted living building. So I'm like, did you go into the assisted living and ask at the front desk if they know where it might be, or like can call the maintenance guy to find it, locked somewhere? And they're like, well, no. Children, you are literally children. You're 26 years old, guys. Come on, use your brains. Like, there's people inside that can help you. 7 hours.
Wow.
I need to go
Did they
fill
find
it.
it,
He
though?
brings me the ice cream bucket when he needs water. So I'm going to go fill this really fast. Do a song and dance or something. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if I ever get married, I'm probably having a child-free wedding. Just because, like, I don't know, it's fine having kids around. And I love kids. Like, I love all my baby cousins. Whenever I get new pictures of them, I'm, like, so happy to see them. They're adorable.
Wait, you
I
are
just
the
don't
one
want
person
them
who
there.
likes
You know what I
receiving
mean?
pictures of other people's children?
Yeah. I mean, not like every day, but like every once in a while, because my two littlest cousins, they live like far away. They're out of state. So I only see them once a year.
Gotcha.
So like it's huge developmental leaps between when I see them every year to, the next time I see them. So for me, like I like seeing it because then I don't feel like as much of like a shock the next time I see them that they suddenly got so fucking big. You know what I mean? So like for me, that's fine. If they lived right down the street from me, don't send it to me because I'll just come over and see them when I want to see them. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they don't, so I can't. Yeah, but all right. I think you're next.
Yes. So, am I the asshole for blaming my friends with benefit or friend? Yeah, you're folk bude for getting a girlfriend. I, female 18, am part of a friend group with a guy we'll call Dan, male 18. Dan and I flirted a lot back and forth, and in the past, I had expressed the desire, or at least acceptance, with having a hookup / friends with benefit relationship. At least at one point, I asked Dan out. He told me that he really likes me, but he wasn't ready for a relationship and he wanted to work on himself first. I thought that this was at least a little bit bullshit because he talked a lot about wanting a girlfriend, but having a backbone to turn people down. I accepted this, but then around 2 weeks later, he asked me if I wanted to hook up with him. I was interested, but I first asked him if I was actually his first choice, or he just asked me because he knows I might say yes for 2 different reasons. He said that if he had to be in a relationship with anyone, it would be me, and that either way, he would choose me first for sex or a relationship. Oh, honey.
Interesting.
Been there.
Interesting.
But, oh, honey. A few days later, before we actually hooked up, but did share some intimate details with each other, he said he did something with a friend of his that's a girl that was kind of a date. I was a little hurt, but I talked to him, and he said he didn't want a relationship with her and would reject her if she asked him out. A few days later, we hooked up. However, I wasn't really into it. Actually, I figured out I was a lesbian and ended things between us.
That took a left turn.
Plot twist. Like,
yeah.
Like, wait a minute. And you're angry? What the hell? Okay. Wasn't expecting that, but I read that. I had a couple lines. I was like, wait a minute, this is gonna get interesting.
Right.
2 days later, his friend shares with the group that Dan was interested in asking this girlfriend to a dance. not knowing what happened between us. So the friends, I think, didn't know that they had slept together.
Yeah.
Again, I confronted Dan, and he said that his friend twisted his words again, and he would turn her down if she asked. I was still a little pissed, but whatever. 3 days after that, he asked her to the dance, and they started dating. When I got mad at him, he just said that he spent more time with her and changed his mind, though that's obviously a large jump in a small amount of time. He did apologize for hurting my feelings when I got mad, but he didn't really seem sincere, and everyone else thinks that I'm overreacting because A, we weren't hooking up anymore, and B, I wasn't even into him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My problem is that it wasn't even 2 weeks after he said that I would be his first choice to date that he asked another girl out. You're a lesbian. What are you pissed about?
I mean, if you were bisexual, I get it. Like, then you would have a right to
Right,
have
like,
hurt
or like
feelings. But
you
if
had
you're saying,
feelings for him still, yeah, I totally would get that. But okay, so am I the asshole? This actually happened a few months back. So between that and the fact that we were apart and I didn't like him, it makes for a good argument why I'm the asshole for getting mad. Yeah. However, I
yeah,
just felt really hurt that he told me all of these things and then took them back. And also, this was the only time anyone has shown interest in me. So it really hurts
that
thinking back
sucks.
on it. Okay, I get that. So I just want to know,
Yeah.
A, if I'm wrong for being mad, and B, was there
Yes.
anything I could have done differently so I don't feel so badly now?
Yes.
And if that's not being an asshole, then just, and if that, yeah, being an asshole, then just tell me that.
100%
Yeah,
the
like,
asshole. You do not get to be mad when you
wait,
turn someone else down.
but we don't know if she told him she was a lesbian. She just learned that she was into girls. So
That's
to be
fair.
fair, she may not have said that.
Fair.
But
But she
Um,
100% did turn him down. Once I released you of, like, if a guy comes to me and is like, "Hey, I really like you," and I'm like, "All right, let's try it out," and then we try it out and it's not working, and I tell him like, "Thanks, but no thanks," I then can't turn around and be pissed that he's
right.
screwing some other chick. Like, I really can't be
And
mad
it,
at that. My feelings can be hurt, and 100% that is fair and valid. But like, that's shit I need to work through on my own. I can't take that to him and use it and be like, "Well, you told me I was the prettiest girl you ever met." Like, that can't happen. That's ridiculous.
well, because even if he had told her, "You're the prettiest girl I ever met," if I walk up to a woman and say, "You're the prettiest girl I ever met, you want to have dinner?" If she tells me no, and a couple
I walk to
weeks
the next
later I
prettiest woman
ask
I've ever
another
met and
girl
tell her.
out, like,
Exactly.
what the fuck?
okay, so there is an added comment because this
Okay.
one did get deemed the asshole,
Yeah.
but somebody had written two really good. I'll just read all three. They're not that long. So this is a different person said, so you hooked up with a guy who admitted he liked you but was a bit flaky. You didn't like it. You've ultimately decided that you're a lesbian, so you still got to call dibs on the same guy who has been apologizing for hurting you by starting something with another girl who's presumably not a lesbian and actually into him. Yes, you're the asshole, OP. You're entitled to your extremely confusing feelings, but not to burden people with them and make them run around in circles around you. I would have said everyone's the asshole because Dan was toying with you at the beginning of the story, but you sound more self-centered than him, to be honest. And then the same person said, replying to my own comment, because you took yours down, I totally understand feeling like crap when you're still reeling, and they bounce back faster than a rubber ball. Feels like they never gave a darn in the first place, or had been harboring feelings for that other person all along. I'm sorry you're going through that. You are overreacting, but absolutely right to feel sad and used. Feelings and behavior are not the same. And there is nothing wrong with wanting it to develop into a relationship. I don't see why you would find that wrong. I honestly don't really believe in friends with benefit relationships. I think it works for a very limited number of people. And all of the
Yep.
friends who have been with in this sort of relationship, once you get to get them to talk, they admit that there are feelings involved. It's just that you're both messed up in some ways, and this happened. But his apology will never sound anything but hollow when you're like this. You're consciously demanding that he heal your hurt and that he also suffer because you're suffering. It's going to be tough, but you can make it. Try to step out of the situation and get to know yourself. I mean, these are two 18-year-old kids. So
Yeah.
it's very like, I think we've all had situations where you get really, really hurt because somebody else does something, and then your brain gets going and you spiral, 100%. So I get that.
100%.
But try to step out of this situation and get to know yourself more. Take time to heal. Go out with friends or focus on your hobbies. Drink a nice cup of tea. Spelled CUPPA, which I love. Do the things that make you feel better about yourself. Best of luck, OP, which is, I think, a very heartfelt, totally legitimate understanding. So then the OP answered, "Thank you for putting in the time to answer. I deleted my comment because I wasn't happy with the way I worded things, and I was too lazy to edit it, but I appreciate you putting in the time. I realize now what I was expecting of him is unfair and that his feelings are allowed to change. Personally, I know that my feelings wouldn't change that fast, so I just assumed that he was lying rather than realizing he's just different than me. This just really hurts because I've been the one who's never had a partner. Everyone around me is in relationships, and I have generally low self-esteem, so the lack of relationships in my life definitely adds to that. I was just happy that someone wanted me for something, even if it was just for sex. I didn't think about my feelings or the long-term consequences of what would happen. I've concluded that I'm definitely the asshole and that friends with benefit relationships are not for me. But I appreciate you taking the time to respond in a way that wasn't attacking me, even though I probably would have deserved it. Thank you." And then that same person replied again, "Hey, please don't confuse you're the asshole with a judgment about your own character or what you deserve. We all know how you reacted in one instance. And all we can say is how we believe that specific behavior was. And sometimes people who post end up outing themselves as complete assholes, and that's a different story. You absolutely do not deserve to be attacked, and I'm sorry if anything in my comment made you believe that. I'll tell you an embarrassing secret in return. An ex, we had been in love for years, also bounced back on me super fast. And for a while, I totally thought that he must have been cheating or something because I would have never been able to change to a different person that fast. My sister saw how bad it was, and she took a teddy bear that I used to call by my ex's name and put it in front of my room a few times, so I'd kick it down the hall whenever I went out of the room. It was stupid as heck, but it felt good." So, I mean, I think that this is definitely an 18-year-old who's having a lot of feelings.
Yeah.
Still the asshole for this situation. Like, don't get me
100%.
wrong, I'm not.
Right.
But, she's feeling big feelings.
Yep.
And thought she could handle a situation that really typically doesn't work. Rory, go.
And I mean, I totally get it, and I get her still, despite realizing that she's a lesbian, there's still feelings there. You know what I mean? And so it's upsetting, but either way, to get mad at him for your feelings just isn't cool. And that's something that like usually comes with maturity and age and like living these experiences more than once. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like clearly she said she hasn't had a whole lot of romantic relationships,
right?
Which that's unfortunate, but that'll change all in due time. So you'll get used to it and you'll get over it.
Yeah.
All the best, OP. But yeah, you're the
she's
asshole.
18. They're both 18.
Hasn't had a lot of romantic relationships at 18. Well, a lot of people.
Most people, genuinely.
I would say,
Very few people have like serious long-term romantic relationships or relationships wherein they actually learn something about being in a relationship. Most of the relationships I was in high school, and I say that like there are exceptions, there were really, really meaningful relationships for me, but most of them were just like light, fluffy nothingness.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like, oh, you're so cute. Oh, yeah, you are too. Oh, let's kiss a little bit. And then like, oh, I hate you. We're broken up. Goodbye forever.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I literally went from like, well, this was middle school, but I had a guy ask me out one day we were together one whole day, and then he broke up with me the next day.
Yeah.
And it's like, shit happens, but it sucked. And like, I can identify in with the like, everybody around you is happy, you want to be happy, you think that a relationship is the only way to get that, you want to feel wanted and needed, you know, like I
get that.
definitely been there.
I've been there 100%.
Um,
But I've also
so
learned, like, I've gone through periods. I think I went like 8 years without being in a relationship. And towards the end of that 8 years, I was like, fuck, like, I really want to be in a relationship. And then I got into an abusive relationship. So there you go. Like, what you wish for is not always what you want. But
right,
during that time, I also found like to be at peace with myself in a lot of ways that I wouldn't have found if I had been in relationships, because a relationship was never going to give me that peace. I just then
right,
couldn't hold on to it because I was so bogged down in the societal narrative of like, you have to be in a relationship to be happy and healthy. And I wasn't. And so I felt left out. And all my friends had boyfriends and they're all going out on double dates and like fun shit. And I wasn't. And so I was like, oh, I want
right,
to do that. And I jumped into something that I shouldn't have. And
right.
like, that is what
We
it
met
is. You live and you
with
learn.
my ex. We met when I was 19. We were together until I was 29. And so for me, it was, I never got to experience a lot of like what most people go through in their 20s of dating
Yeah.
and like finding yourself and that maturity growth that
Mm-hmm.
happens. And while I would never like ever want to have cut that out of my life or like forget about the things I learned while I was with him,
Right.
the 6 years since we've broken up, I've learned so much more about my, well, what, 7 years? Anyway, doesn't matter.
Math. The
And
math
more about
amount.
myself. And I really realized, and
Yeah.
like, I didn't know how to be an adult without him in my life. And he was 4 years older. So it was just, oh, this is what you think is a good idea. Great. Well, then I've had 4 relationships since then, including my current one, and 3 of the 4 were abusive in one way or another. Because
Yeah.
again, like I just wanted that companionship because I didn't know how to be alone. And I think
Yep.
that that's a really important lesson. And it's something that learning to be alone, like in high school or middle school, and learning to be alone
So
as an
different.
adult are 2 very different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
100%.
yeah, I mean, I totally feel for the OP. I think she's got a lot of learning to do, but I don't foresee her being somebody that's going to continue to make these mistakes and like is, you know, an all
I hope
around
so, for
asshole,
sure.
because
Yeah.
I think she just needs to learn some things. And
Yeah.
I
I
can
agree.
definitely like that actually hit me more in the feels than I expected, because I remember having a lot of those same feelings when I was her age, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that.
But yeah,
Yeah.
life is a crazy roller coaster, man. It
Ain't that
ebbs
the
and
truth?
flows, and sometimes it overflows, and that's,
Fair.
I mean, it's
Fair.
all learning experience. Like I tell that to Matt too all the time. Like if you fuck up, you fuck up, but you got to learn from it, you know. So if you make a mistake
Right.
or you break up a relationship, you know, or like in your relationship, or you know, somebody breaks up with you, you know, take that and go, okay, well, what did I do in this situation that led to this? You don't put the blame completely on another person, even
Yeah.
if it's majority their fault. Like find out what you did to, okay, Dexter. He looks like, sorry, Dave. Nobody else can see Dave, but I can see him.
No.
And he split his hair down the middle part and straightening out like the epitome of a nerd and for like freaks and geeks and whatnot. But yeah, like take your ownership and learn from it. Don't
Yeah.
just be. I hate people that are
100%.
like, nothing is ever my fault. I'm the perfect one. No, you're not. Get over yourself.
No, no one is. Yeah.
Uh,
All right, next. Am I the asshole for asking neighbors to hang out elsewhere? So I live in a small apartment complex. My nearest neighbors are a group of college students. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know them well, but we're always polite to each other. This problem has only arisen recently. For some reason, this group and some additional friends have decided to start hanging out in the hallway outside of my apartment. Literally just hanging out and talking, things they could do in their own space. I work from home and this has been a nightmare in meetings. I can hear them in the hallway, as can my coworkers. They're college kids, so some of the discussion isn't exactly office appropriate. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not a prude. It's just not workplace talk. Yesterday, I got especially fed up after they were being especially loud during an important meeting with my supervisor. I went into the hallway and just politely asked them if they could please hang out somewhere else. I explained my work from home situation and told them that I could hear them. They took it poorly. They started telling me that I live here too and I can hang out wherever I want to in the building. One of the friends, who's not a resident, called me a bitch and told me to soundproof better. One of them implied that working from home isn't a real job, which is rich considering that none of them work during the summers. Their parents foot the bill. I feel like I was justified, but surprisingly, my mom agreed with the neighbors. She insisted they live there too and have a right to the hallway. So, am I the asshole? I'm at my wit's end. Not the asshole at all.
No.
No one has a right to the hallway. If it was a common space, like they're
Yeah.
being loud in a common space and it's not during quiet hours, then it'd be a different discussion. But you don't have a
Right.
right to hang out in the hallway and be
Yeah.
fucking annoying. If you're having
Right.
that conversation in
Go
your
down
room,
to
I
the
wouldn't be hearing
lobby.
it and I wouldn't be having an issue.
Right. Yeah, like definitely sounds like college kids or late high school.
Yeah,
I
they said
agree.
a group of college kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. No, she's absolutely fine. Even to just say, hey,
Yeah.
can you guys quiet it down? And you're in an apartment. What is their argument? You need to soundproof better. What? You want me to hang rugs on my walls? What do you want? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And exactly, Chris, you don't get to hang
Right.
out wherever you want to just because you live there. Like that's not how
Right.
that works. There are still areas that like you have to be respectful of other people.
Right.
Like that's
And
life.
if
I
it
can
was
do what I
like
want in
once
my
in a blue
apartment,
moon,
but
I
also
could.
within reason.
Right. Yeah. Go hang out
Yeah,
on
like
your
if you
deck
hear them
or
like when they're coming home, like walking to their apartment and they're being loud
yeah.
in the hallway, that's one thing. I can totally understand that. Like you don't have a right to get mad at them for that, for carrying a conversation from point A being their car into point B being their home. Like absolutely you can't get mad at that. If they're sitting out there all day and using
Right.
the hallway as their hangout zone, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Dave's looking for
Dee's more
feedback for his
honest
hair
than
and it
I
looks
am.
terrible. It looks like
It
it's a
does.
horrible bowl cut. No
It did look
offense,
like
but
a
it's
bowl
like
cut. You should have
yeah, it's
taken
real
a
bad,
picture of
friend.
the
That's
tape.
much better. I prefer that than the other one.
Yeah.
Um, right. It's not
Yeah.
hard to be respectful. Not at all.
Right. Yeah, and who says working from home isn't a real job? Like, hi, did you not
Right?
just live through the pandemic like the rest of us? Like, and I would give anything to work
Yeah.
from home. Like,
Working from home,
whatever.
being someone who does, like, it's just as much work as like normal. It's just that I don't have to wear pants to do it, which I
Right.
love. I appreciate that. But I'm still doing all the same work I'm doing when I'm in the friggin' office.
Well, and sometimes it's harder because you have like your home distractions. Like, yeah, it would be great to be able to get laundry done in between phone calls or something. But, it's like,
You would
oh,
think, but I never do.
well, and you don't have to answer this.
I totally could, but
you're in an
I don't
apartment,
want
right?
to. Yeah.
Do you have an in?
I have an unit. Yep.
Okay, which is awesome.
So I
never
totally
lived in an
could. I
apartment that
just
didn't have an
choose not
internet.
to.
Right.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. I'm like, if you're like, you'd have to leave your apartment and go down the hall. I totally get that shit. I even when I lived like my very first apartment, the washer and dryers were like 2 floors down. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I loaded up my
Yep.
car. I went to the laundromat and got it all done in 2 hours instead of running up and down 3 flights of stairs.
Down. Yeah.
Because there was no elevator. Like,
No.
it was the shittiest apartment. It was a 2-bedroom. My cousin and I lived there. We paid like $860 a month. And I drove past
I wish.
not
I wish.
long ago, and their 2 bedrooms were over $1,400 now. And I'm like, I
Yep.
can tell because when you drive by at night, like I can even see the unit I had. This was also my haunted apartment. If I've told those stories
God.
before,
No, I'll do that
But-
another time.
I can tell they haven't like updated the cabinets, nothing, and it's
No.
gone all the way up to $1,400. Okay,
Housing has gotten
18 years old when I
ridiculous.
rented this, but
Yeah.
you get a freaking mortgage. If your credit is good enough, get a mortgage. Mortgages are less than that normally, at least.
I wish I could, but like down payments are a bitch, and I can't save up
They
the money to
are.
get a down payment. I can 100% be approved for a loan in terms of my income and all of that. Like,
Yeah,
I'd be
but they
fine,
don't.
but I just can't get fucking $40,000 for a down payment.
Yeah, and houses
Shit
out
sucks.
there are crazy
Oh
expensive.
God. Well, especially where I live, I
Would
can't
be
even
out there.
Say that
afford.
again. $40,000 is most of a house here. Like, depending on
So,
what
like,
house you're looking at.
for me, I can't even get a condo, and we're talking a condo that's basically an apartment. You just own it. I can't
Yeah.
even get one for less than 250, and that still wouldn't even be that good of a condo.
Right.
That's 250. I can't get a
Yeah.
house for
And
less
you're
than
not even in
400,
like
and
decent
even
property.
then, that's a shack. No,
Yeah.
no, I'm in.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
my
in like
ex-brother and
basically the
sister-in-law
Yeah,
suburbs.
lived
like,
in Alexandria, and they
Oh my God,
sold
Alexandria's
their. They
insane.
have a townhouse,
Mm-hmm.
an attached townhouse. They
Oh
sold
yeah.
and they bought a house with like a mother-in-law's cottage in San Diego for cheaper than what they were paying in Alexandria.
Oh
But
fuck yeah.
my ex-brother-in-law worked for Homeland Defense, Department of Defense, and she was a researcher for the Washington Post. Like, they had great
Mm-hmm.
paying jobs, and now she runs her own business. It's called Not My Dish. She rents out like place settings and will do different
Oh
events,
cute.
but nothing matches. So,
Yeah.
but she makes it look really pretty, but all of the like
Right.
place setting is different. And so it's this idea she came up with on her own, and now she's been featured in like Better Homes and Garden and a couple of different magazines and stuff. And he works in like IT for some charter school or something, but so he still is bringing in the income. And San Diego's not cheap to live in, but they're living there cheaper
No.
than what they were living in for Alexandria.
Yeah, it is super expensive. Like super expensive. My granddad had a house there, and when we sold it, like he bought it in like 1994, I want to say. We sold it in
Yeah.
2020, and it was like basically over $1 million.
So
And
the
it
house
was
I'm
a
living in,
really shitty, not renovated,
yeah.
3-bedroom, 1.5 bathrooms,
So this
and it went
house,
for $1
my
million.
grandpa built it 42 years ago, 43. It's 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, unfinished basement. Costs less than $15,000, and it's
Yep.
on 3.5 acres of land
Wow.
here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, are you kidding? Like 15,000, I could save up that money to buy a house. Now, granted, like
Yeah.
he owned another house on the property that burned down, so he had to like then pay to have it built. But a couple of the kids, like he
Right.
mentored, did construction for their dad or whatever. And so they built most of it. So there are errors here and whatnot. Well, that's why I'm like, I kind of want to buy this house, because where else, as a first-time home buyer, do you get to know every
Yeah.
nook and cranny of a home
Exactly.
before you buy it, and be the second owner in 43 years or whatever?
Yeah.
15 grand.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what my
With me.
parents paid for theirs. Which they still own to this day. We grew up in
Yeah.
the house, very luckily. But it was like nothing compared to what it's worth now.
Yeah. The housing
It
prices,
was
I
originally
mean,
built in like the 80s.
yeah.
84? 85. It was before my brother was born.
I was gonna say, so it's older than me, because your brother and I were born in the same year, right? 86.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
86.
old as fuck, boys.
Oh, I'm trying to
Yeah,
pull it up
it's
now.
gotten crazy. This is a whole sidebar tangent that we just went
I
off
know.
on. I love it, but
But I'm so curious.
I'd be interested to
If I had this
see.
now. I'm looking it up now.
I'm curious what my parents are too. So I think they bought it for like 180.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, this is moving so slow.
Hey, there's my dad's truck in the driveway. That's awesome. Oh, this home
Don't you love to see it?
last sold for $164,500. So $164,000. They now estimate the home's value at $380,329.
Wow.
And my parents have barely touched that house
So
in 22 years they lived there because they bought
I
it.
can't even see. It's not telling me what it was. What the cost was when it was. It was built in 1983. I know that.
Okay.
It was originally when they took possession of it, like what they ended up paying for it was $102,500. Okay, so they paid just a little over 100,000 for it. It's now estimated at least 550.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah,
So wait a minute.
and it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath.
Yeah. Um,
So that tells you where the housing
our
market
house
is.
here, which has a horrible picture. Like it's a picture from like literally. So if you're on the side road, we have like trees and bushes that come so far,
Hmm.
like an easement, and it's taken like right at the end of the easement, which is just a weird place to take a picture.
Yeah,
But this house right now says 381,400. But it's listed 3-bedroom, 2-bath, which is not. My parents' house is actually more square footage than this house,
hmm,
which is interesting. Not by much, but
yeah.
very interesting. I could look at this
Anyway,
shit all day long.
I know, me too.
It's so
But yeah,
funny.
that's why, again, and my parents' house hasn't been updated since they built it, basically. I mean, we've switched out some carpet here and there, but like, and appliances as they've broken down, we've replaced them, but it hasn't gone through any like major renovation since 1984.
Yeah,
So the fact that it's worth like $500,000 is ridiculous.
yeah. This other website says the estimated value is 404. I guess it
Yeah,
depends on the website,
right.
but yeah, inflation's freaking crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It is.
All
Especially
right.
since raises haven't rose with inflation. But that's a whole other topic for a whole
Yeah,
other show.
that's another thing that we could go on for hours on.
For
I have
hours.
one last Am I the Asshole, and then we'll move on
Okay.
to our game.
And then
So
I
Am
have
I
one
the
last
Asshole?
asshole too.
Okay, perfect. For canceling Mother's Day celebration that I arranged for my wife after hearing what she told my son. I, male 37, have a 13-year-old son. I just was like, wow, you had your kid late. And then I realized I'm 36 with a 13-year-old. You didn't have a child late. I just don't math well. So have a 13-year-old son. I was a widower when I met my now wife. She has a 16-year-old daughter from another relationship. The family is often on good terms. My son is the quiet one in the house. He keeps to himself a lot, but not to the point of it being concerning. My wife and stepdaughter are the complete opposite. They both encourage him to be outgoing and share activities and join gatherings with extended family. My son complained about having to be forced out of his comfort zone and having his need for space invalidated. I spoke to both my wife and stepdaughter and asked them to give him space and freedom to spend his time however he wanted. They apologized and promised to let him be. As Mother's Day was approaching, I wanted to throw my wife a surprise Mother's Day celebration. It was no longer a surprise because my stepdaughter gave her the heads up so she could prepare. Fair. Sorry, I have to burp, but it's like stuck in my throat. You ever have that?
Oh, I hate
Weird
that.
feeling.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time.
It's like,
It's so
what are you
uncomfy.
gonna do here? Go back down or come up? One of the two. You
Yeah.
can't just stay there.
You can't just sit there.
And you
100%.
should decide what you're gonna do. Okay, so yesterday I got off work earlier than usual to get the final arrangements done. We planned to celebrate at the restaurant and invited her family there. I had the key while I was entering the house through the front door. I overheard my wife and stepdaughter talking to my son. My wife was asking my son if she could convince me to let him stay home and not go with them to the restaurant to celebrate. Okay, so yeah, she was asking him to convince dad to let him stay home. I paused and decided to keep listening. My son said why, and she told him that his introverted and socially inept attitude will make her family uncomfortable and ruin the mood.
The fuck?
He promised her that he would be well behaved and would not try to interact and would try to interact and socialize with everyone, but she said she wasn't buying it. My heart just breaks for this poor child. He kept reassuring her, but she snapped and told him that technically she's not his mom. So she didn't get why he wanted to celebrate Mother's Day with her so badly. You fucking bitch. Sorry. This child lost his biological mother.
Yeah.
And you're saying, I don't understand why you want to celebrate with me and I'm not your mom. Fuck off. Anyway. My stepdaughter threw some, I don't remember, backhanded comment, and then both of them were shocked to see me standing there. Both were staring without saying anything.
Wow.
I told my son and his stepsister to go to their rooms, and I told my wife that the celebration was canceled. She tried to argue, asking why repeatedly, and I told her why. She tried to explain that she didn't mean it like that, and I only heard part of the conversation, but not all of it. I told her I was done arguing and the decision was already made. She yelled, asking what she was going to tell her family, and said that I was making a tremendous mistake towards her. I hate when people throw that in there.
Yeah.
I ignored her while she kept throwing tantrum after tantrum. Early this morning, she took my stepdaughter and went to stay with her folks. Not a single call or text from her so far. Situation is full of tension. I am still upset, but more hurt, to be honest. I mean, I did say I was going to have this celebration, but I thought what she said to my son was too harsh to ignore. I say not the asshole.
I say not the asshole.
Like, sorry, me having to pause to say "fuck you, bitch" in the middle of
Yeah.
it.
Right? That's clear enough.
This man is.
You know, I mean,
there's so many things fucked up
yeah,
about it. First of all, regardless of anything, if the kid is shy, you going to them and saying, "Hey, I
I'm
don't want you to come to
introverted.
this thing because you're not going to like be fun and friendly, and I don't want to put others through that awkwardness," is
Right.
horrible. That is incredibly scarring to a person. Like,
Yes. Because
how do
how
you
would he
then
ever gonna
expect
have
them to be
confidence to
confident
go out and
again?
be social? Yeah.
Yeah, like that's
It
just inappropriate. And then to go further by being like, "Why would you want to celebrate with me? Your mom's dead." Like, or however it
basically,
was
yeah, like, I'm not your
figuratively
real
phrased it.
mom.
I'm not
Well,
your real
bitch,
mom.
sorry, I don't have a real mom anymore. She died. So,
And I'm pretty
what
sure
an
like
I mean, the fact that he
99.9% of step parents would want their kid to be like
Yes!
celebrating them and to think of them so
Yes!
highly that they see them as a biological parent, to
Well,
hold
and
them to
even
that
just
same
want to
regard.
celebrate
Like,
them on this day. Like, it's clear he wanted to actually go. Saying he would
yeah,
behave, I mean, that to me says she thinks he doesn't ever behave, and 13-year-olds are jerks. Like, trust me, don't get me wrong.
facts. Big
But,
facts. Yeah.
uh, him saying, I'll be good, I'll try to interact with people, I'll be friendly,
Hmm.
because he wants to spend Mother's Day with her. I'm not
Yeah.
even in this situation, and that makes my heart go, oh, you like sweet
Yeah.
boy. You like, and to be told, no, I don't want you there because I'm not your real mom and you're gonna ruin the mood. Fuck you.
Yeah. Eat shit.
And oh, that makes me so heated too. Like,
And then for her to like take her kid and go to the parents' house and like not discuss it, it's like, I get that you're
right,
upset that your fun time is being like canceled or whatever for Mother's Day
right,
or what have you, but like, don't you think that like as a parent, your impact on kids is more important? Like,
right.
regardless of what you said to that kid, her defense of, "Oh, well, that's not how I mean it. You didn't hear the whole conversation. That's not how I meant it." It's like, well, clearly,
Doesn't
it's how
matter.
he fucking took it,
Right.
and that's what matters.
Doesn't
You
matter.
fucked up.
Yeah.
You don't get to now have
And
your fun party while everyone
no,
tells you like, "Oh, congratulations on being a great mother." No, you done fucked up,
no,
AA Ron.
no.
Deal with the
Right, right.
consequences.
I mean, and the whole like, well, what am I gonna tell my friends and family? I don't care if I can figure it out. Tell them you fucked up.
Tell him you're a
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, like it's
Or just be
so
super brave about it.
absurd,
Nobody
dude.
cares. Just be like, "Hey, unfortunately, This is just not the right timing. We
Right.
appreciate that you all wanted to
Yeah.
celebrate with us. We'll schedule something else
Yeah.
maybe later.
Like, we've got to cancel it for now.
Yeah.
Especially with everything that has been going on the last
Mm-hmm.
couple years, people are going to
Mm-hmm.
understand that. And probably a lot of
Yeah.
those people are introverted and they're going to be like, "Oh, thank God it got canceled." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
and there's no like it doesn't say this, but by how he's describing some of his son, like it could very well be like normal atypical 13-year-old
Right.
boy. He also might have a spectrum disorder.
Yeah.
And like that to me is something that like I get really heated and protective about because two men in my life that I love very much are on the spectrum.
Right.
And to ever make stop making faces at me. Sorry, Dave was making faces. But yeah, Chris, I agree. Like those guys are better off. And I honestly, if I were this guy, fuck her, man.
Yeah.
I'd be honestly, I'm not one to jump to like divorce
Oh no,
typically when
Right.
I read these posts,
he
but
leaves
this
her
man,
and meets someone better, and she leaves him, and is sad and not paying attention and gets hit by a bus.
I wouldn't put it that far.
I mean,
Um,
I mean, I wouldn't shed a
but
tear if she
Oh
got hit by a
no, she
like,
doesn't die, and it doesn't even necessarily hit her hard, but maybe that's the wake up call she needs, to be less
right.
self-centered and look around outside of herself more.
Yeah.
Is her
Yeah.
literally getting hit
she
by a
definitely needs
bus
a wake-up
because
call
she's not
to
paying
not.
attention to things other than herself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
I
just ridiculous.
realized after I said it how my metaphor sounded, and it very much needed explanation.
Right, Chris.
Right.
If your stepfather ever talked to you like that, that would be
Yeah.
an issue.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
And
Oh, that
your
makes me so
parents
heated.
would be
I
well
want
within
to
their
have.
rights to tell them to GFO.
I didn't know
I still
my
have a conversation with this woman. I promise I won't hit her. I make no promises.
I didn't know my stepdad wasn't my dad till I was like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey,
I
why
mean,
do
my
we have
dad is
different last
technically my
names?
stepdad, but yeah, yeah.
Right.
I mean, dad adopted me when I was in 5th grade, but he's been in my life since I was 4. He's the only
Right.
dad I've ever known. Like, he in
Yeah.
every way is my dad. And yeah, it's unfortunately there are some step parents and stepmoms out there that are just total little assholes, and there are some that are just phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
I've noticed a weird trend though. Like when people are telling stories about like a terrible step parent they had, 90% of the time it's a stepmother.
yeah.
Most of the people
there
I
are
know
bad stepmothers out there.
who like have stepdads, but I think it's because of like how our brains are biologically wired, right?
Yeah.
Because a
Right.
woman will get into a relationship with a man who has children and not care that they have children.
Yeah.
A man, typically, in my like experience throughout life, will not get involved with a woman with children if he doesn't like care about children and be okay having children.
Right.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, it sometimes in some hell, there are days it takes a lot to love my kid that is biologically mine. So some days it takes a lot to love a kid that isn't biologically yours. But looking at it now, you know, I mean, because I won't lie, the first time I found out my ex had a girlfriend, like that shit hurt.
Yeah.
Mostly because
yeah.
he didn't tell me about it ahead of time. But then I realized, like, as long as she's nice to Matt, can be stern and discipline him, you know, if the time comes to it once they're together a while, as needed. But as long as it
Right.
falls in line with what his dad and I have set up as, you know, things that are okay
Right.
or not
Rules
okay.
and expectations.
Yeah. I'm like, as long as, like, more people to love and help my kid grow and influence him in positive ways,
Right.
the better, you know?
100%.
I don't know. That shit. People make me angry.
Well, why don't we turn it to a happy thing?
Yeah.
Because I just read through my other one real quick, and it's not gonna be great.
It's not
So
bottled
I don't have
depression.
another one to read. No. Wah.
So you want to skip
I
that
lost
one?
my pen. Yeah. And then I dropped
I
my
lost
pen
my
behind the
pen.
couch, and now I'm sad
Oh
because that's what
no.
I fiddle with during the show.
I know. I
And I have
dropped
8
my fidget toy
babies.
earlier and I can't find it. And
Okay,
I'm big
Yeah.
D.
sad.
No,
Should
I'm
we get
bummed.
you? So I have an idea for an invention for something you can fiddle with that you can't drop. So we get like a plastic stick, right, with like an elastic string attached to it, and
No.
then we put like a koosh ball but fuzzy on the end.
Mm-mm.
A cat toy. We'll get you a cat toy that we can mount to the wall.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
No.
All
no,
right,
that's
so
not the
let's
kind of
move-
fiddling we do.
Yeah. Let's then move on to our super fun game,
Oh,
which will maybe
for
be
secret
super
time.
fun for everyone.
I mean, it's gonna be super fun for me.
Well, that's somebody at least.
Do
'Cause you
me
know
a
all the
favor, both of
answers.
you go ahead and hit your buzzers.
Okay, hold on.
I hit mine. They can't hear when we hit our buzzers, right? It's only you
No.
see a little. What's I figured?
Danger.
Another-
You're not on a team.
I am. Am I?
Are we
You're
supposed
a
to be on a
team
team?
of one.
Yep. And we're called Team Awesome.
All right. Both of your buzzers are working. You can buzz in at any time after I start reading the question. I will not finish the question if you buzz in first.
But if she gets it wrong, will you finish the question so that I can buzz?
Yes.
Just want to be clear.
And
So,
if the other person
and as
gets
far
it
as
wrong,
that
then
goes,
we-
that's like standard trivia rules, right?
right.
All right.
But if I think I know it, she gets it wrong. Do I get to answer as
Yeah.
well? Okay. So we
You
get
automatically get the answer,
yeah,
right?
I chance to answer. Got it.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
Cool. We're all on
Gotta
the same
double-check.
page.
For now.
Sometimes.
More questions will probably come up at some point.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, let them come up, and I'll keep making it up as I go, like I always do.
We're shocked by that. Just shocked.
Yeah.
Who did Billboard magazine name as Artist of the Decade in December 1999? D.
I'm gonna go with Prince.
Mariah Carey.
Hey,
You didn't give Danger a
didn't
chance
give
to
me
answer.
a chance to answer
Oh,
the
fuck.
question. And but I also was thinking Prince because all I could think of
Right?
was we're gonna party like it's 1999.
It should have
But
been
yes,
Prince.
give
for
me a
what it's
chance
worth.
to answer the question first.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yep. Nope. I forgot. I'm making it up as I go along. Remember?
But I clarified literally.
So
before you answered.
I kind of did that on purpose. There are an odd number of questions.
Yeah, sure.
Now there are an even number of points to distribute.
Convenient.
It's always better if
convenient.
there's a chance to give you guys a tie.
Right.
Sure.
But now we don't have a tiebreaker question.
No.
No.
You can just tie.
Less fun.
You know, stay with her, baby.
Daddy loves you both equally, okay?
Father, not daddy.
Father,
remember?
excuse me. I'm father.
Yeah. All right, next question.
All right.
Does my buzzer reset?
It is now.
There we go. Okay.
What is the surname of the Spice Girls baby Emma?
Fuck. The only Emma I know is not that Emma.
Watson?
Right?
No.
I don't think Emma Watson was alive when the Spice Girls were popular.
Yes, she was.
Probably not.
She's older than I am.
Is she?
She's younger than me.
She's in between us.
Yeah, you're also like 4 years older than D.
Yeah, she's in between us because she's definitely
Danger.
older than I am. Did you buzz?
She did.
I'm
Good for
gonna.
you.
I don't know that I'm right, but is it Thompson?
It is not Thompson.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna go with as well. And now I've got to think.
Yeah, she was born in 1990.
The members of One
Yeah, she's a
Direction
year
are
older than
older
I am.
than you, Chris.
Um,
You baby.
all right.
He's
I buzzed.
32. That's
I'm
great.
gonna
Hey.
go with diner. Not you.
It's Bunton.
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 Okay.
Chris.
Buzzers are reset.
Nice.
What single did the
That's
Red
what
Hot
we're
Chili
talking about.
Peppers release in 1991? If you watch Less Than Normal, you know this.
All right.
D.
I'm gonna say Under the Bridge.
No.
I can like picture the video. And I can hear like the melody, but I can't pick the notes out. Fuck. You're gonna say it and I'm gonna hate myself.
Uh-huh.
Same. Same.
Name an early Chili Pepper song.
Yeah, I mean, at this point.
That's the problem, is that they're like all tip of my tongue.
So no answer from you?
Californication? Is that a Chili Pepper song?
It is. It is not Californication. It is Give It Away.
Oh, give it away.
Give it away, give it away, give it
now.
away, give it away now.
Yeah.
That was not the one I was thinking of.
That would not have been the one I picked either.
No, but I'm glad I got Californication right.
Just to let you guys know, one of the cool things about this site we're using, and again, this quiz is taken from groupgames101.com. We're not affiliated with them in any way, but I do want to make sure they get a shout out because I really like their format. I don't get to see the answers until I click a button, so I get to play along with you guys.
Fun.
I've known about half of these so far.
Good for you.
So out of 3, you've known.
Well, no, because I look at the next one ahead, and I knew this one also. Like, I didn't even need to click the answer button because this is one of my favorite songs. Who was the artist for the best-selling single, Save Tonight?
Okay, you have to reset our buzzers. I didn't press it, you have to reset it.
Buzzers are reset.
Thank you.
Danger.
Oh God. Now I'm not sure. I have to pick one of 2. Third Eye Blind.
No, that is incorrect.
Can you repeat the question?
Who was the artist for the best-selling single, Save Tonight? And right before Danger did the thing, I was going to ask, do you know the song in question?
Yeah.
Save Tonight.
Yeah.
Amazing music video, amazing artist, amazing vocals.
He doesn't get it.
It's right on the tip of my tongue.
This artist is arguably a one-hit wonder.
Mm-hmm.
I can picture him. I think.
Chat, help me out. Help me cheat, chat. Please. I need it. I give up, honestly. It's not coming to me.
All right. Not for a point, Danger.
I looked it up.
Okay.
But it's a name I knew. I just did not know that they were Swedish.
Who did you get?
I got Eagle Eye Cherry.
That's correct. Yeah. I also didn't know they were Swedish. I thought they were Native American.
And Eagle Eye Cherry I thought was more of, and maybe he is, but I thought it was more of a band than like one dude. But everything it says.
Yeah, it's one dude. when the one dude toured, he had a like touring band with him, but I think for the recording he
Right.
played all the
It
instruments.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it's mostly him.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I
at
heard
least the
Green
original
Eagle Eye
recording.
Cherry, I always picture like a Third Eye Blind or Train was my other guy
Right.
was Train.
Yeah.
Because it's that same kind of sound.
Very
Right.
much so.
This is a great thing. It said, Save Tonight captures the feeling of wanting to enjoy a particular pleasant moment forever due to the fear of losing it in the near future. I think that perfectly sums up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great song.
It is a great song.
Question
Thank you.
5. The score is still 0-0.
Woo.
What British city did Oasis frontmen Liam and Noel Gallagher come from?
City.
This city has a soccer club.
That does it.
It's a soccer club that's kind of memey and appears in popular culture often.
Okay. I've also
I
buzzed
got
it.
mine.
Oh, danger.
Is it Manchester?
It is Manchester.
Yep.
Yes.
100% what I was going to say
If
too.
Manchester,
Totally
you
didn't
like,
know it, but that is the one British
Man U.
city I could think of.
well, and if other than London,
And there's
and if it was
and
London,
there's a lot
nobody
of
would.
singers that come from Manchester.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
And if they're talking about British soccer clubs on TV, somebody always mentions Manchester United.
Almost always.
100%.
Yeah.
Always.
Man U.
Always mentions Manchester United. I know soccer trivia because I watch TV. That's not really TV.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I haven't watched TV like basically since I met you, because either on LTN or your channel, somebody's streaming every night of the week. But I have no life, and I'm okay with that. You know what? Although for a hot second I was about to say Madagascar, and I was just thinking,
That
I
would've been
don't
really
know
funny.
who said it in chat the other night, and I was like, Madagascar, or it was Kling. Like, Madagascar is not even close to whatever it was we were talking about.
No.
But that's what, as soon as you were like, okay, danger, and I was like, it's not Madagascar, not Madagascar.
All right, don't forget to reset the buzzers before you ask the
Yep.
question.
Question 6, Danger 1D0. In what year was Britney's Hit Me Baby One More Time released? D.
Actually, this isn't fair.
Hit Me
D
Baby
gets to
One More
answer first.
Time. It was released in 1997.
Danger.
I think it was actually released in 1999
It was released in 1999.
because she was signed to the record deal in 1997 when she was 15, and I know all of
Yeah.
this because she's our femme fatale. That's why I was like, this
Oh,
isn't fair.
shit.
He gets to answer it first because I had just looked it up. But I'm
Yeah.
like, I initially thought 97 too, and then I'm like, no, that's when
Yeah.
she got signed.
That's
okay.
what she signed. Yeah. So I
It's
had a
getting
date
hot
right,
in
just not
here.
the right one.
So
Oh, Mr. Tiny Corn Dog.
Tiny corn dog.
So
I was gonna
take
say
off
corny
all
dog.
your
I don't know why.
clothes. I
Don't take
am
that.
Good to
getting
know.
so high. I'm gonna take my clothes off.
Sometimes what we call them
Okay.
here.
All
But I'm glad you got the reference.
right. Danger with 2
Yes.
points. What 90s
think I did.
album was the iconic REM single Everybody Hurts featured on?
I don't know any of REM's album names. I
I
don't
really
think.
don't either.
They're all
I like when their songs play, I'm like, oh, this hits, and then it's like, oh, it's fucking REM. Great. I thought they were like in the 70s or 80s. I have no idea.
I love REM. Their album names are all wild too.
I'm gonna say Station Wagon.
No, but oddly closely related.
I
Automatic
think
for the
Tiny Corn
People.
Dog. What is it?
It was Automatic for the People.
Automatic for the people. All
Like
right.
most station
Which is Station Wagon is. It's an automatic that transports a lot of people. I say I get a half a point for that.
I don't, and I'm
I
in
tried.
charge.
Can't say I didn't try. Okay.
Hey, A for effort, F for
A
execution.
for effort.
Question number 8, Danger, 2 points. D, Goose Egg.
0.
Who was too sexy for their shirt in 1992?
Oh my god.
I only know this because I love the name of the group.
Yeah, but like,
I know it. I know it.
D,
Right Said Fred.
yes.
good job.
Whew.
I'm
I could not picture it. I could picture the video completely.
The videos would help me get there, because then I was like, yeah, there's a whole journey in my brain to get there, but I got there. So.
That's so funny.
Hang on. I have this album. I have the CD. In 1995, which artist released the album?
Before you clear it. Otherwise, it's not.
1995, which artist released the album Jagged Little Pill? Danger.
Atlantis Morissette. No, Jewel. It's Jewel. It's Atlantis
D.
Morissette, isn't it? God damn
It's
it.
Alanis Morissette.
It is Alanis Morissette. We are tied 2-2.
What was I thought Jewels was something like that too. I did this the last time with an Atlantis Morissette song. Now I gotta look it up just because I won't ever remember the correct thing.
Question number 10 to everyone.
Clear the buzzers. There you go.
Which female band had global hits with songs such as No Scrubs, Unpretty, and D-Bag?
TLC.
Fuck you!
It is TLC.
I clicked it before you even finished
I did
saying
too.
Scrubs.
He said No Scrubs, and I was like,
Won't get no love from me.
No Scrubs is one of my all-time favorites.
Oh my god, it's such
so
a good
good.
song.
Pieces of You, not Jagged Little. Okay.
But pieces can be downloaded. So
Pieces of You.
I see
Right?
the correlation.
Right, I just couldn't remember the name of the album that came out in 95.
Yeah.
All right.
And it was Atlantic Records, which I'm gonna blame for me associating Atlantis, Atlantic.
We're gonna do a deep dive into like pop culture history. Which MC won Best Dance Video and Best Rap Video at the 1990 MTV Awards? Danger.
MC Hammer.
It was MC Hammer.
Yep.
Name another MC out there. Like
MC Chris.
Well, wasn't
Like-
Will Smith's
Jazzy Jeff.
Jazzy
Yeah.
Jeff.
MC Jazzy
It was
Jeff?
DJ.
It was
No,
MC
it was
Jazzy
DJ
Jeff.
Jazzy Jeff.
Right, but a DJ
Oh,
and
you're
an
right,
MC
you're
are
right.
the same thing.
Right.
in
but
that
But, like, with
it
MC
goes
in the
by
title.
MC. Name the MC.
Yeah.
It was MC Hammer.
Yeah, anyone
Young
else can be an
Young
MC, but
is
yeah,
fine.
I get to see what you're saying. There you go.
Yeah. That's why my brain was like. But then you said 1990, and I was
MC.
like, oh, wait a minute. Is that right?
That
But
song
yeah.
is that old?
Yeah, because stop. Hammer time. That was the video that got it.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that
the
video is
Zubas?
so bad, but it's
Collaborate
so
and
good.
listen.
I love that whole fucking.
great
Oh.
It was a great era in music. I ain't gonna
Oh
lie.
my god.
It really was.
It was just so fun and like wild.
Music videos like that, like getting ready for school, watching MTV music videos when they actually
Dude.
have music videos on, and it wasn't 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And you could
Now
request
to do
things,
that,
and,
you
like,
have
you
to
would
use
get
Vivo.
little.
Right.
And their
So,
shitty
like,
ass
you could
YouTube
request like songs, and people used to like ask each other to prom using MTV
Yes.
and things like that.
Yes. Or remember
could put in, like-
TLC or
Mhm.
TRL.
TLR,
TRL. Total Request Live.
TRL. Sorry. Yes.
With
Just
Carson
yeah.
Daly.
Yeah.
So are we tied 3-3?
You were tied 3-3.
Wow.
Question number
Alright.
12.
This happened the last time we played a game too. So
In
share
what
for you.
year was Eminem's Slim Shady EP released? Danger.
Oh, released, not. I think it was 1998.
D.
1996.
Is it 1990?
1997.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I knew it was 97 or 98 because I think he performed it in the 1999 VMAs.
But I think
Or the
the
2000,
real
yeah.
Slim Shady single I might have been released in 1996. Chris, can you fact check
Yeah.
that, please?
Oh yeah, he's not where I was about to be like, Chris is at work. He can't do shit.
Nope,
No,
he's
he's
off
not.
today,
Indeed.
so he can be the guy who fact checks my brain that knows things
yes.
but it doubts itself.
Does that mean I get a
And
point
find out
if I was
what
right about it
VMAs
being
he performed
96?
at, 'cause that was like world shocking. I remember watching that VMA.
No, because I did specifically say the Slim Shady EP.
Yeah.
And not the single.
Bummer. I'm just trying to get a point any way I can. You gotta respect the hustle.
I respect the
Hey,
hustle.
you won the last game.
Yeah,
you had
we
a
won
crown
this
over
game
your
too.
head almost all show, okay?
Hey,
I have not had a crown on my head. Did I?
Yes,
And I
you
didn't see
did.
it?
I even
Lady
messaged
Rhett and
Dave
Madam
earlier,
Link.
and I was like, do you want to maybe take the crown off of her head since that's a game thing? I don't think you removed it until we were about to start the game.
No, I removed it a
funny.
while ago. And
the real Slim Shady EP.
No, the single.
Well, one was a single.
The single.
Or what was the? Never mind. I'll look it up and figure it out later once
doesn't
my
matter.
brain tells me what it's trying
We
to
can
know.
put it in post.
Yeah.
Question number 13, still tied 3-3.
The Slim Shady EP was released in December of 1997. So almost 98.
When was the
It's
single
just
released?
the Slim Shady EP, not the real Slim Shady.
Yeah. Okay. All right, next question. Last question.
Question 13. Which late influential rapper had a diamond certified album called All Eyes on Me in 1996?
Oh, this might be wrong. Yeah, we're talking about the Slim Shady, though, not the real Slim Shady.
Danger.
Is it? I don't know that this is right, but is it DMX?
It is not DMX.
Okay.
D.
Is it
I thought
Tupac?
it was until you
It
said
is
96.
Tupac.
God.
The clue was
the only
the
real
link,
options
so he's already
there
passed.
were, I think, Tupac and Biggie because they say
Biggie.
which late
Yeah,
influential.
if she had guessed Tupac, I would have gone with Biggie.
Yeah.
But I was pretty
Which
sure
is
it was
fair.
Tupac.
Yeah, Tupac. To me, I didn't think Tupac because it was 96. Like, that just seems so much later. You know what I mean? And I know
Right.
it's not, but when I look back at when I found out about what happened to Tupac, it was, you know,
Yeah. No, I totally understand.
it didn't seem like it was that late in the timelines.
Mhm.
But good call. That was good.
Thank you.
He
Thank
was
you.
fascinating. There are some like good documentaries and tapes of him talking and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And the one of him talking like when he was in prison at one point, he was a very intelligent man, but very well spoken and actually gave a shit about people.
Mhm.
And yeah, you've gone way too soon, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
he
We
was
could have used
gonna
his music
try to-
for quite a while longer,
Absolutely. Yeah.
for sure.
What song? D, you have 4, Danger, you have 3.
Okay.
You got that point. Mhm.
Question 14. What song was released by Christina Aguilera in 1999?
Oh.
I hit my buzzer.
D.
Okay. It can't be
Genie
one-
in a Bottle.
It was Genie in a Bottle.
What? And that late?
Yep.
Oh, well, I
Yep.
suppose Hit Me Baby One More Time
It
was...
came out after Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Yeah.
They had that huge
But
feud.
again, in my head, I was thinking 97.
That's
Even though we
2001,
just talked about when Hit Me Baby One
I
More
know.
Time came out. The fuck?
Everything to me is like early 2000s, but I know that I'm like 5 years off. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because my brain
Yeah.
thinks that like I'm not
Well,
that
like, it
old
hit
yet.
your
You know what I
life
mean?
in the early 2000s. Like, you were old enough
Well,
to
no,
listen.
like I was listening to it for sure at that time and like in watching pop culture by that time. But my brain is like, you're not that old enough for that to have been in 1990. Like
Right.
you're old enough for that to have been in 2000. You know what I mean?
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, like, the fact that I have to reconciled the fact that I graduated high school a whole ass adult ago. Like 18 years this year. Like that is a grown ass adult in
I'm
some
still a
respects.
preteen,
But
so
right. I graduated a teenager ago.
yeah.
Which girl
Okay.
band formed in Houston in 1990 under the name Girls Time, spelled Tyme? Danger.
Oh,
Destiny's Child.
It is Destiny's Child.
yeah.
Score is now 6-5. Danger's catching back up.
Okay.
Why is it 6-5? I thought
Yeah, I thought it was 5-4.
4-3 a minute ago. So it should be 5-4. Or 4-4.
Yeah.
Didn't we tie it up in the last
5-4.
question?
No.
No, it's
D
5-4.
answered 2. So
Back
it's
to back.
to the from when you were tied. She answered 2 correctly,
So she's
So it's
got
5-4.
5.
and you were at 4-4 when you were tied.
No, we were at 3-3 when we were tired.
We were at 3-3.
Okay, so it's 5-4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
I just don't want an extra point.
Well,
But I didn't have.
you're
I don't want you to
separated by
give her
1
an
point
extra
either
point.
way.
I mean, yeah, it's still by 1 point, but still.
If you're gonna
Chris,
give one of
before
us
you
an
put
extra
this up
point,
on
it better be
YouTube,
your girlfriend.
like, keep accurate track on the bottom, and we'll see how wrong we are when we watch the YouTube video.
Yeah. Right?
And if the wrong person gets crowned the winner, Dave has to post a public apology on TikTok for counting wrong and crowning the actual winner.
For being bad at math.
Yes,
Yeah.
if I crown the wrong winner, I will post a public apology.
As it
Probably
should
to
be.
Twitter.
No, it's got to be
No.
a
We
video
know-
apology.
I can do a video
That'll be
apology
video.
to Twitter
Fine, whatever.
or Insta.
Okay, fair.
Who's? I'm sorry. Who's on Insta? I was about to say
Me.
everyone but me. I hardly use Instagram, but
You
I
used
did
to do
link it to
right.
my Facebook, so my Facebook posts
Yeah.
to Instagram. I'll get notifications. You have like 5 new likes and 3 new followers. I'm like, lovely. Why?
The 1998 Americana album by which band featured the global hit Pretty Fly for a White Guy?
Yeah.
Danger.
Offspring. The Offspring.
It is The Offspring. I would have also accepted Offspring as their name
Yeah,
appears
fair.
both ways from album to album.
Yeah. Usually somewhere in the artwork on their album, the is in there. It's just not always outwardly apparent.
Yeah.
But that is the album I got in trouble for owning when my mom knew I bought it at Sam Goody with my friends. I was like 13, 14. And I loaned it to the neighbor when we moved to the house in 2000. And when the neighbor kid came and brought it back, my dad answered the door and he's like, here, this is Amber's. You know, I borrowed it. And he came down, he's like, why do you have this CD? And like, there was like no cussing really on it or anything. But he was so upset that I had the Offspring CD. I'm like, really, Dad? Like, really?
That's funny.
That album was so good too.
That's such a great album, too.
Yeah.
Or that, like, the kids are all right is on that album. And, yeah.
Name the band. I'll phrase it a different way. This band has a music video depicting them running naked through the streets of Los Angeles. Danger.
Blink 182.
Correct.
They're
now
naked
it's 6-5.
streaking in a lot of their music videos.
Yeah.
Danger 6D5.
Mhm.
Yes. You're hitting like this is my life, my childhood right here. Like my formative years were based on this music.
Which girl band's debut album was called The Writings on the Wall?
A girl band. It's like an all-girl band or the front singer is a girl.
Which girl band's debut album was called The Writings on the Wall? This D.
I'm gonna go with TLC. I'm just gonna throw a guess out there.
Incorrect.
Can't say it intro.
Too.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Destiny's Child. I don't know what other girl bands there were back then, like all girl. Because initially, like No Doubt crossed my mind. The Cranberries.
Yeah, but those aren't girl bands.
They're not all girl
Cranberries
bands.
is mostly female.
Mostly,
but
but not
an
all.
all-girl band.
I think the only male in the Cranberries is their bass player.
Or
But that's
drummer.
still not an all-girl band.
Yeah, but it's still not all. Or are you saying this because it is the Cranberries?
No, it's not the
Okay.
Cranberries. You have said the name of the band.
No Doubt?
I'm not giving you any more hints.
Well, they were the other one I named. Or Destiny's Child.
That's not fair to get the point for that. If she's shopping
Oh no,
around.
she's not getting the point anymore.
Oh, okay.
Well, but you're not
who is-
helping me.
Chris
It's
just says
Destiny's
Veruca
Child.
Salt.
It's Destiny's Child.
It is Destiny's Child. All right, if you guys don't get this, I'm going to be very disappointed in you because I knew this. Which all-boy band rose to superstardom with their third studio album Millennium in 1990? D-Bag.
Backstreet Boys.
Okay,
The Backstreet
that's
Boys.
not fair. Your sound cut out, or you burped, or something happened.
I heard Mill, and that's all I needed. I knew that was the Backstreet Boys. I own that CD.
I heard boy band.
heard the whole thing.
Like, that's what I heard.
Oh, I heard the whole thing.
Unfortunately, I cannot give credit for connection issues.
Means we're tied 6-6.
You're tied up again.
Chris, I'm hearing a lot
Chris?
of explaining.
You would be butthurt by it too. Trust me. In my position.
I think your connection cut
Which-
out though, because mine didn't.
Which
No, and that's
I heard
totally
the whole
understandable. But to me, it's out like that's why I was like words, man, because I thought he was stumbling over the
Oh,
word,
yeah.
and then to find out he wasn't,
That's a bummer.
just hurts a little bit. Yes, you would. And just like that, Dave's in the dug.
All right, here's a fun one.
Where he
I
should
think
be,
I
Maul.
think
Where
I
he
think
should be.
Chris might know this one. I think Chris might be able to get
Okay.
this. How you doing, Maul? Which band became the first commercially successful British band in North America since the Beatles?
And this is all 90s.
D.
The Ramones.
Oh, good call.
Incorrect.
What?
Oh,
Wow. Okay. Oh, I have another guess.
is it the White Stripes?
It is
No,
not the
that's
White
me.
Stripes. What's your
Aren't
other
they
guess,
British?
D?
Are they not British?
Is it Oasis?
It's not Oasis.
Then I have nothing. The Ramones are American. For
One
real?
Direction. It was the first one that came to my mind, but they weren't around in the
Which
90s.
I would have said it's Oasis too, right, Chris? That's what I did say.
It's not Oasis.
Are they
Yellow
British?
Card?
The Spice Girls.
Oh, Coldplay. What?
Spice
The
Girls.
Spice Girls.
I
Oh,
never would have guessed that.
motherfucker.
Never in a million years would I have guessed that.
But they're so obviously a British group.
Right.
How did you word the beginning of the question?
Which band became the first commercially successful British band in North
Okay.
America since the Beatles?
And because
Commercially
of the prior
successful
question,
makes sense though.
right,
Because Oasis hasn't had a movie, but the Spice Girls did.
right.
Well, not only that, but yeah, like
And they were
Wonderwall
like
gets
a full
played sometimes in
franchise.
commercials, but there for a while, the Spice Girls were in every fucking ad.
Yeah.
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 But I would say that Oasis was more popular. So
They were a pop group,
Oasis
not
had more staying power.
band. But
Yeah.
the word band, and especially I think because of the prior question, my brain went to boy band or like
yeah,
male
yeah.
group. And
People
so
who actually
the
play
Spice Girls were
instruments.
nowhere in my
Yeah.
or at least where somebody played an instrument. And maybe the Spice Girls actually did, but in none of their videos did they play instruments.
No. I think I did see there's like maybe in one of the videos, I think one of the Spice Girls, a redhead, Gary Spice. No, Ginger Spice plays the
No.
guitar.
Wasn't it Ginger Spice?
Ginger,
Wasn't it?
yeah.
All right, you are still tied 6-6. Who is the best-selling girl group of the 1990s in the U.S.? D.
Destiny's Child.
Incorrect. Danger.
Oh. That was my... But give me a second. Best-selling girl group in the U.S., not necessarily American. I think it's TLC.
It is TLC.
I was torn between TLC and the Spice Girls. But I think all time, yeah.
I was torn between TLC and Destiny's Child.
Yeah, but Destiny's Child would have been my guess, like, had my buzzer hit before yours.
Yeah.
Danger 7, D6.
Okay.
Close game.
I'm gonna let you in on a thing. You guys aren't gonna get this. I've not heard
My
of
thing
this
says
song
ready,
or this band.
buzz.
Oh, don't tell me what I know.
Who sang "You Only Get What You Give"?
Fuck. I've actually heard this song before, though, I think.
Is it a group or a person?
No idea. I'm assuming group.
You've been love the Spice
Dude, the Spice Girls were great.
Spice Girls were great.
Tell me what you want. What
For
you really,
their
really
thing.
want.
They
I
weren't
touched
a
my
band,
first
though. They were
butt to a
a
Spice
pop
Girls
group.
song.
You would have.
Well, it was at the Roll
Was
Arena,
it
and it
Tell
was
Me What You
entirely
Want?
on accident because I fell over and accidentally slapped this girl in the ass trying not to fall down. But still.
If you wanna be my lover,
you gotta get with
you
my
gotta get with my
friends.
friend.
Which, to be fair, is something that I do quote nowadays as a
Right?
grown-ass adult. Like, if you want to be with me, you do absolutely have to be friends with my friends.
100%.
You can't hate my friends. Fuck you.
Maybe not
I will
fuck them,
admit-
though, which is what that song was implying.
No, well,
You gotta get with my
Like-
friends.
like, you gotta get with my friend, you gotta hang out. Is how I always took it, but maybe I'm wrong. I never knew that the electric slide was about a dildo until this year. So I'm learning all
I think
sorts
technically a vibrator, but
of technically, yes, you are right. I
Look,
said dildo because
all-
it's funny. It's a
all
funnier
I'm-
word.
All I'm gonna
It's a
say
fun word.
is, Lover to me has always been about a girl power gangbang.
I disagree. But you can take from it what you want.
100% disagree.
All right.
That's
What was the name of the song that
whatever.
we're supposed to be thinking about again?
Yeah, do you guys
get
give
what you
up?
give.
You get it.
Yeah, I actually looked it up because I was like, who
The
is
song
it?
"You
And
Only
it's
Get What
not-
You Give" is by the New Radicals. Yeah, if you've
Yeah.
heard of them, let us know, because I fucking haven't.
vaguely remember.
I've heard it before, but I know nothing.
Which rock band reached mainstream success with the release of their 1999 album, Californication? Danger.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
It is the Red Hot Chili Peppers. We are 8-6. It is still a very close game.
Yeah.
Also, this music video for "You Get What You Give" is so 90s, and I'm in love with it right now.
You're in love with what?
This music video,
Oh.
because it's so like what the malls were like in the 90s and early 2000s.
I didn't know this. I don't know if you guys will either, but it's interesting as fuck.
I heard that recently. Chris, you're sometimes too much of a music purist. And I mean that with love. Blue on Black, I would classify as a country song.
No, it's blues.
I hate you both. Maul and I agree. country.
Hey, everyone's entitled to their own wrong opinion. Which band name was an amalgamation of the final letters of the members' first names? Danger.
In Sync.
It is
No
In Sync.
fucking way you
I
got that
didn't know
before I
that.
did.
I didn't
was
know
like,
that.
In Sync fucking super fan, man.
I got it when he said first name. There's no way you got it before I
Justin,
did.
Chris, Joey, Lance, and JC. In Sync. I still, at my parents' house, have all of the bobbleheads in their boxes. Because I thought at some point in life they might be valuable, but now they're just nostalgia for me, and I can't look them up for what they're worth.
There's no way you clicked that buzzer sooner than I did. Fuck
I
you.
did. 100% I did. Cause he had like 3 words out when I clicked it. Like, because he knows too.
NSYNC were great.
There would have been words.
Okay, but what was
there
your
would have been
favorite
words
album by
that
them?
had NSYNC not been on this like trivia. Like, there would have been.
What was your
fucking-
favorite album of theirs?
That's a good question, because I saw their original 2 live and I saw No Strings Attached live. I musically, and I use that term, okay, so he's not being a purist about this. What was it? Dirty Pop, whatever
Celebrity?
that album was called, was probably like musically my favorite
Yeah.
because it was edgier. But there's
had a better
nothing
range.
like their original or No Strings Attached. Like, it just.
So
I
yeah,
mean,
I
I
have mad
love
love for all of them, but Celebrity is my favorite album.
Celebrity, thank you.
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot, like, that was a different sound for them, and then they fucking broke up because they're jackasses, but they still do shit together, which is
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
They really did. NSYNC was awesome. Like, they were, and Backstreet Boys like deserve their time.
In the war of
too.
NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys, though, 100% NSYNC. I don't even think 98 Degrees makes the fucking argument.
Yeah.
But
Right. And
Yeah.
the fact, I mean, you have to look at it too. Look at like what Timberlake's career has done since then. And arguably, like, JC
I loved him in Trolls.
Shut up.
No, I'm
JC
being 100%
somebody else
serious.
said it. Oh, I know. I love Timberlake, but I'm trying to speak. I read it somewhere else, but I also always thought JC should have been the front man. He had the better.
I watched an
voice.
entire TikTok on that the other day. Did you watch the
Yeah.
same one? Yes.
Probably. Because I don't
Probably.
know where I heard it. I just watched it. But
it was on TikTok.
he was older and he didn't have the looks and the appeal that Timberlake did. But if
Well, he
you look
wasn't as
what
good of a
that
stage
launched
performer.
Timberlake to, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
But he had like the like JC had the choreographer background. You know, he had so much more going for him.
I think JC had the better vocal range, but unfortunately,
his
Justin
range
was
was
just
bigger
more
than
like had a bigger presence.
Right. And JT was,
Pretty.
I literally,
He
and like,
was pretty.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
They're all pretty.
But so was JC, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're all
they were
pretty in
all
their
attractive to me. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But I also am to the point in my life now where, like, seeing the Backstreet Boys together, I find all of them attractive, whereas I never saw Kevin as attractive before in Backstreet Boys.
I
even
liked
AJ,
Kevin the
like,
most.
AJ has filled up more, and I dig his tattoos. But
I did like AJ. I loved Kevin. I even had a
Brian
soft
was
spot
my
for
favorite
Brian, but he
though.
was like such a little baby.
He
I
was
wasn't like into it back then, but now I'm more into it.
JC, whereas I think he had the better range and the better professional appearance.
I would say that Backstreet Boys had less of an issue when it came to a front man because they didn't have one. You had like
Carter 100%.
I feel like
man, in my opinion.
I don't think they did.
See, and maybe that was just the market. And maybe the marketing was different here than it was there, but they always pushed Nick as being the frontman, especially after NSYNC became a thing, because it was Justin versus Nick.
Is Nick the Italian-looking kid?
No, Nick is the blonde.
Okay, who's the Italian-looking kid from Backstreet Boys? Like kind of an olive-ish complexion. Or am I
Well,
thinking of somebody from 98 Degrees?
90 Degrees, probably. Who is actually, they're now touring again, which is awesome. I
No
liked
way,
98 Degrees, but I wasn't like diehard like I was with NSYNC. I mean,
Yeah.
I literally, for Halloween, I wore their concert t-shirt and I took a pair of jeans with permanent markers. Somewhere there's a picture of this bullshit with permanent markers, and I wrote all over these jeans like their names and song titles and like all of this shit. And I literally went trick-or-treating as an NSYNC fan.
I love it.
Little
I
known
love it.
fact. Don't clip
Which
that
wasn't
shit.
a costume. It was just like you felt, proud enough to
It just
actually put it on that day.
100% was like, well, I think it was a
It's just
year
one day I can get away
I was
with.
at that age where I wasn't gonna go trick or treating, but then my mom was
Yeah.
like, "You should take your sister trick or treating," and I was like, "Well, then I'm gonna dress up as something."
Yeah.
And instead of being
fair.
like the
That's fair.
bloody veterinarian, I was the year she was a sack. No, yeah, she was the sack of potatoes when I was a like bloodied veterinarian, like a evil veterinarian. Don't ask me why. And then my favorite one we did together was I was a firefighter and she was a Dalmatian. Because we're so far apart. Anyway, random story times.
So this next series of questions is going to be the last series of questions that we're going to do today. We'll probably come back and do trivia stuff like this because this is a lot of fun. I feel like you guys are having fun. And it opens up interesting conversation.
It does, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
But this last set of questions, there are 7 of them. And they're all about 90s collabs.
Okay.
Some of these questions will be worth 2 points, depending on how much information the question is asking for.
This is where I fail. It's too much pressure. Okay.
And the scores are Danger 8.
Yep.
D 6.
Yep.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, and to the foe is the opening lines to which 1992 rap collaboration song. I'm looking for both artists and the actual name of the song.
Oh, fuck me.
Each of those things is worth 1 point. D.
Okay, so it is Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre.
Yep.
Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door. Congratulations,
Yeah.
1 point.
It is
I don't know the name of the song. I could sing that whole verse. I don't.
Mm-hmm. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I didn't know we were going to have to go for the freaking name of the song. All right.
I didn't either when I buzzed in, so I'm glad you got it first.
Yeah.
What?
But you see what I mean by some of them are worth 2 points.
Yeah. No.
And it was sung in this year's halftime show too. And I just can't think of the title.
Right? But I don't know the name of the song. It's just always 1, 2, and 3 to 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg. Go.
Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Alright. Does she just get the 1 point? Do you not like?
She'll get 1 point. Are you gonna?
I have no idea.
I know. I'm like almost 1,000% sure it has California in the title.
You're incorrect.
Okay.
You're going down the wrong path. I'm just gonna cut you off. Danger. Any ideas?
Fine. Fair enough.
I don't know.
Okay. It's
I'm
nothing
gonna
but a
hate
G thing.
Yeah, of course it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Those words I don't think ever come up in the song together whatsoever. I might be wrong, but
Oh no, they say that in the
Ain't
song.
nothing but a
That's
G
part of the
thing,
chorus.
baby.
It's background vocals.
Yeah. Yep.
but yeah, I mean it doesn't pop like the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. All right. Well, at least I
Fine,
got 8
whatever
points.
they do, I'm wrong.
All right. Danger 8 D7.
Okay.
Which rapper was featured on Usher's single "Just
My
Like
buzzer's
Me"
not
with 1
buzzing.
point?
My buzzer just says ready. It doesn't say buzz.
Oh.
Is yours the same, Danger? There we go. Okay. All right. Can you repeat the question? Because I got
Just like
confused.
me.
Which rapper was featured on Usher's single "Just Like Me"? Danger.
Is it Ray J?
No.
They did collab though.
Probably.
No, they're related to each other, I believe. But yeah, I know for a fact that they collab. Just not that song.
50 Cent.
No. It was Lil Kim.
Really?
All right, Lil' Kim.
I honestly did not know.
I don't remember.
Do you
it.
remember Eve?
Yeah, I do.
And a little piece of Lil Kim trivia. Lil Kim was featured inside the pages of TV Guide with an entire titty hanging out with nothing but a pasty on, and lots of folks were real mad about it.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that. Is it wrong that, like, I almost forgot Little Kim was a rapper? Like, you haven't heard of her in so long? Like, I'm sure.
Really? Didn't she
Yeah.
release?
So great.
Isn't she on WAP?
She released something recently. No, she's not on WAP.
But yeah, it's just that's not a name that I would have like immediately thought of. But hearing that made me think of Eve, and I loved Eve.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's very true. She did.
All right, here's a fun one. Who successfully sued Puff Daddy and Faith Evans for their collaboration of I'll Be Missing You in 1997?
Oh. Ah!
And I can make this question worth 2 points.
Wow.
Who sued them, and what percentage of the song's royalties did they take?
Oh.
I remember this happening. I'm just gonna make a guess.
Danger.
Okay.
I don't know why this popped into my head, but was it U2?
It was not U2.
Then
D,
I have no.
and if D doesn't get it, I'll reset the buzzers. You can buzz in and take a guess at a percentage. D.
I'm going to say it was Whitney Houston.
It was not Whitney Houston. It was Sting.
Ding!
You can
I never
buzz in and guess a
That
percentage
makes
if you'd
sense
like
why I
now.
thought of U2 then.
guessed the percentage.
You can guess a percentage for a point. And we'll do closest one. D, you buzzed in first.
63.
Danger.
You went a weird.
Sure did.
I'm gonna say 65.
You got prices righted by Danger. It was 100% of the song's royalties.
No
That
way.
Sting was
Really? I
awarded.
did not know they won 100% of it.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that was possible.
Yeah, I didn't either. That's wild to
Chris,
me.
turns out you did know the percentage. It was 100%.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'd say Chris gets the point
But
for that one.
knowing it's Sting makes sense why I thought of you too, because Bono and Sting
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
hand in hand for some weird reason.
Well, and if you
Interesting.
had said the Police, I probably would have gave it to you. Because
Right,
Yeah.
right.
when people think of the Police, they
100%
think
I
it's
got it
Sting.
wrong, but because
Right.
in my head I was like, why did I think of you two? I knew it wasn't, but that's all my
Right.
brain thought
I
of.
also knew it wasn't Whitney
Now I
Houston.
know
That's all
why
could think of.
Train went from A to E.
Mhm.
So the score is 9-7 with Danger in the lead.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And I
Running,
didn't think about it.
Dying to Live was recorded in 1994 by Biggie Smalls and which other artist? Danger.
Was it who is now known as Puff Daddy or P Diddy?
D.
Tupac.
It was Tupac Shakur.
It was too. God
It was Tupac Shakur.
damn it! That's what I thought at first too, and I didn't because I'm like, no, they, but that makes sense.
You're now
Mm-hmm. 9-8.
9-8.
Nine-
Yeah.
God damn it!
It's a
I
really
should have gotten.
close game, guys.
Yeah.
Should have gotten with my gut. But P Diddy was involved in that whole thing, by the way.
Which Spice Girl duetted with Bryan Adams on the hit single "Baby When You're Gone"? Danger.
Was it Posh, aka Victoria Beckham?
No. D.
Was it?
It was Scary Spice, aka whose name I can't remember.
Mel something, was it?
Mel B.
Mel B, yeah.
There's two
Yeah.
Mels.
Yeah. It was Sporty Spice. Mel C.
The other Mel.
The
was
other
Mel
Mel.
C. I knew it was a Mel.
I did not remember any other Spice Girl doing much outside of like Mel B being on America's Got
Mel
Talent.
B did release songs. I couldn't
Yeah, she
remember.
had a career after, but as far as like
Yeah.
collabing, I didn't remember.
Vocals from CeeLo Green and Paul McCartney.
My buzzer isn't right.
And
Okay.
vocals from CeeLo Green and a Paul McCartney interpolation were featured on which TLC 90s hit? D.
I'm just gonna go with the one that I know. I know it's not right, but I'm gonna say Chasing Waterfalls. That was their biggest hit.
It is
and there was Male
Waterfalls.
Voices.
It is right.
It is
Yeah,
Waterfalls.
I
Tying
knew
it
there
up
was Male
going into
Voice, but
the
I couldn't
last
think.
question.
Fuck me. I was trying to think about who had background vocals because
Yeah. That's the only one I could think of that had some,
recognized
but I couldn't
as
believe
much
it was
back then.
CeeLo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and CeeLo Green, I think, was going by a different name then as well.
Yeah.
He might have been because I don't remember it.
But he wasn't
reset the
as
buzzers.
well
Yeah.
known even by that
No, he didn't have his own career at that point, I don't think. To the extent he does now. Or
So
to
the fact that he was
2000s.
paired with Paul McCartney in the 90s
Yeah.
was impressive
Bizarre.
enough.
Yeah.
And why
All
wasn't
right.
that wider known that Paul McCartney was on that album?
On Waterfalls, I know.
But good call. Good job.
All right, you
Thank you.
guys,
I got
I
both
don't
of
think
them.
you're going to get this one.
Thanks for leading into that. That doesn't
No. So what I'm going to say is I have more questions. We will continue asking questions
Yes,
till the tie is
That's
broken.
right. He was part of Gnarls
makes sense,
Barkley
Chris.
back then.
That makes sense.
Or he was Gnarls
Okay, that
Barkley
checks
or
out.
something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
was he the like person? I know Gnarls Barkley wasn't their actual name, but like the actual. I just picture the video with the ink blots and whatnot. Where he looks, if it was him, he looks nothing like he looks now. Anyway.
Which famous bassist wrote the string arrangement for REM's Night Swimming hit?
Okay, you're 100% right. I don't fucking know that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
As soon as you said bassist,
unless
I'm not going to know their names. Yeah.
I'm gonna take a guess just for the sake of taking a guess.
And you'll probably be right, just
Is it Flea?
because that's how my life is.
It is not Flea. Though I love Flea.
Oh, because they did talk about Flea.
That's why I said it, because it was a recent question.
Yeah. I have no idea.
It was Led Zeppelin's John Paul Jones.
Oh, okay.
I never would have guessed that.
Good for him.
Yeah, great,
Have a
great
backup
job, buddy.
Or are we just going to tie?
Oh
'Cause we
no,
did-
I have more questions. We will break a tie.
Okay.
Remember, I'm watching the buzzer.
Is it sudden death? Because I might pee my pants if it's sudden
Are
death.
you watching the buzzer? Because you've been late.
No,
Did it tell
I'm
you, like,
watching
who
it.
does it
Like I'm
first?
reading this question multiple times so I can look at the buzzer and just say the question.
Okay.
What was the name of the best-selling hit that was a worldwide success, reaching the top chart position in at least 12 countries from Hanson? Danger.
Oomba.
It was Mbop.
Yep.
Oomba. Chibidabba. Oomba. Song with
Do it all
very little
now.
actual lyrics, but they still
Mbop-a-doop-a-dop
managed to write
now.
lyrics for it.
Yeah.
I saw a performance of them. It was like their 20-year anniversary or something a couple years back. And they can still fucking sing. Like, that was impressive. Yeah,
was
I
nice.
get the crown, guys.
Yeah.
And I should have had it for birthday week, but
Fair.
didn't.
Yeah, I listened to REM, but like only on the radio. I don't think I ever bought any of their albums.
Yeah, I didn't
Are we
either.
done with the
And it
buzzer?
just was
Yeah, we're done with the buzzer.
like I've said before, I very much had songs where I'm like, oh, this is like a good song. And then it's like, oh yeah, it's REM. I couldn't tell you what songs they were, but I just
Nope.
know that that's happened.
Well, you
Uh,
know what, Danger? We did better than we expected to.
we did really good on that, actually. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. But it is that time of the day again of our show anyway, where we hit the femme fatale, and as I said earlier this week, we chose Britney Spears.
Yes, we
Very
did.
fitting for the 90s music trivia,
Yes.
even though she's done a ton of other things.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Free Britney. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to cover like her I can't even say the word correctly. All of the legal stuff.
Conservatorship. Yeah.
Recently, my dyslexia
Which is a shit show right now, but
word.
yeah.
Right. But kind of who she was or is outside of that.
Mhm.
But so I actually pulled together. I didn't write anything like new words, but I copied and pasted. I'm proud of myself. But she is somebody who, if you don't know, rose to fame in 97. She was 15 when she was signed to, I think it was Jive Records back then. Leave Britney alone. And 100%. But so yeah, she was 15 when she got signed, and she had been in a couple of things. That's how she got recognized. She had performed she was on, what was the show, Star Search?
She was
or
in Mickey
something?
Mouse Club.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse Club, things like that as a child, and then things kind of calmed down, probably as she went through that more awkward phase of life.
Which understandable.
100% understandable.
Yeah.
And so yeah, she was 15 when she got a record deal, though, which is absolutely awesome.
So fucking young.
But yeah, very, very young. But she has sold nearly 150 million records worldwide, including over 70 million in the United States alone, which makes her one of the world's best-selling music artists. She appeared in stage productions and television series. Prior to signing, it was Jive Records in 1997 at the age of 15. Her first two studio albums, Baby One More Time in 1999 and Oops, I Did It Again in 2000, are among the best-selling albums of all time, and made Spears
Rightfully
the
so.
best-selling teenage artist of all time.
Even outshining Bieber?
I believe so.
Wow.
This was Wikipedia, so it might be wrong, but
True.
At least according of this. And I know female, she is still like top of the chart there. Potentially not with Bieber, but I wouldn't be surprised if she still did. With first week sales of over 1.3 million copies, Oops, I Did It Again held the record for the fastest selling album by a female artist in the United States for 15 years, which is really I did find this interesting, so I just cut the snippet, but in 2011, she had an album named Femme Fatale. Totally didn't know that till I pulled up this to write, but I was like, damn girl, all right. I vaguely remember it now, but she has achieved 6 #1 albums on the Billboard 200 and 4 #1 singles on the US Billboard Hot 100. She was ranked by the Billboard as the 8th biggest artist of the 2000s. And in the United States, she was the 4th best-selling female artist of the Nielsen SoundScan era, which I don't know what any of that means, but as well as the best-selling female album artist of the 2000s. Time magazine in 2021, so just last year, named Spears as one of the 100 most influential people in the world. And she also won the readers' poll because she received the highest number of votes for that year. I don't think anybody is shocked by this, but her major influences are Madonna, who she shared that infamous kiss with Christina Aguilera.
Which they repeated at her recent wedding, too.
Yes. Which I heard about, but I haven't, dug into it yet. She also has founded the Britney Spears Foundation, which is a charitable entity set up to help children in need. The philosophy behind the foundation is that music and entertainment has a healing quality that can benefit children, which we
Mm-hmm.
obviously know to be fact.
Agree. Yep.
The foundation also supported the annual Britney Spears Camp for the Performing Arts, where campers had the opportunity to explore and develop their talents, which I
Mm-hmm.
remember being a big thing in my teens.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess I didn't realize the gravity or the enormity of this, but in April of 2002, through the efforts of the Spears and through Spears and the Britney Spears Foundation, a grant of $1 million was made to the Twin Towers Fund to support the children of
Wow.
uniformed service heroes affected by the terrorist attacks on September 11th, which included, but weren't limited to, the New York City Fire Department, EMS services, and the police department.
Wow.
I
That's
thought was
awesome.
really cool. Like, that's a big
Yeah.
thing. Part of her legal stuff is that they did shut the foundation down and stuff in 2011 between her dad and her lawyer. They zeroed it out,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. But
It
I
is.
mean, I remember watching videos and I think it was like Disney Channel, whatever, of like clips of people at
Right.
her camp and whatnot. And like, she definitely did a lot of good things. And
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
happy that she isn't so much now remembered for like the 2008 stuff that happened when she shaved her head, and
Right.
everybody thought she was just
Which,
completely off the wall, and it was like, hey, you know what, girl, I've been there. Like,
you know what? She was under an unfair amount of pressure, and the way that paparazzi still to this day treat celebrities
oh my
is
gosh,
insane. Like it will literally drive you to
yeah,
unknown points.
completely insane.
I
And she's
completely
what,
empathize.
she was born in 81, so she's 41 now, I think, if my math
Something like
is
that.
correct. um and 40 or 41, somewhere in there, because she's actually, she might not be 41 yet. I think she's 40.
I
Um,
think so too.
but yeah, she just got married. She's pregnant again. Is that officially confirmed? I
I
didn't know if
haven't
that's just a rumor or
seen.
not.
She had been,
I know I
well,
saw a rumor that
they did announce that they had been pregnant, but unfortunately they did lose the baby.
oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Well, that's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
it is.
Um,
Yeah.
but I'm
But
happy
she's
to
saying
see
that she still wants to try again. So,
that. Right. Good for her. And I know she had a great, like, it was like a 4-year. She did make it cool to have a public breakdown. She really kind of did. But so many people were so judgmental of her.
oh god, yeah.
And to come back from that, she had like a 4-year stint in Vegas performing. She's had a tour since then, I believe, and at least one
Hmm.
album since then. I might be wrong since the Vegas thing, but she's just really, she's lived her life, and she's being a good mom, and she's involved in their lives, and she found happiness with her husband because they like just got married a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago,
it's like a
officially.
week or two ago. Yeah,
I think it was like the same weekend my sister got married, if I'm not mistaken.
it might have been.
Because I think she tweeted out all the angry stuff at her sister and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah, her dad has gone after her
her
again,
dad
and
is still
her
being a
family,
dick.
unfortunately, has always come off to me personally, at least, as money grubbing. And
Hmm.
her dad, in particular, has just always seemed about pushing her to the money. But even her
Yeah.
mom, to an extent, like they push her so much. And there's a like certain level of recognizing your child has a talent and encouraging them
Hmm.
to do something with it, and like literally constantly pushing them um into the spotlight, and which he really is a gorgeous man. He's like 28 or something, I think, too, which
Yeah,
get it,
he's young,
girl.
right? You do you,
But yeah,
girlfriend.
it just, she looks happy and she looks
She does.
content in life, and
Yeah.
as somebody that, she's 5 years older than me, but by the time she became big, they were like portraying her to be more of the age I was actually.
Hmm.
Like with Baby One More Time and whatnot. And
Yeah.
so I kind of feel like I grew up with her in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So I'm just happy to see her be happy, but I think she
Me too.
definitely deserves to be on our list.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Sensitive.
she does not deserve like any of the negative attention that she's gotten recently. I know a lot of people talk about like her Instagram posts and being like, "Oh, they're so weird and shit." But I don't know, maybe it's because I grew up with like I mean, I have a lot of family that are southern and the way they talk is different. And like you can see
Yeah,
in the way there's
absolutely.
like this great person on TikTok who calls herself her southern translator because she reads it in like a southern accent and you can tell like when that inflection is put in
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
her sentences make 100% sense. It's
Yeah.
just and also, like, she didn't really get a chance to have, like, the best education either,
No.
both from where she grew up and then, like, being forced into the limelight so early and all of that
Yeah.
kinda
I
stuff,
mean,
like
touring and having to finish high school and, yeah,
yeah, like, that's a
that can't
lot.
be the best way to learn things. And you didn't get that social
No.
interaction either, with some of these
Mm-mm.
younger artists or people that were signed real young. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I
So,
get it. But yeah, I
I
think
feel
people
for her.
forget she's from the
People
South.
need to calm down on that shit. Let her live her life. She's not hurting anyone. And I
Right.
mean, like, even if she were to have, like, a whole host of like mental health issues, that's her business. It's not mine.
Yeah,
It
like
is
we
not
don't
mine whatsoever until
need
I
to
see it
judge.
in a situation where it's harming someone. But it's not. Like she's fine. Honestly, she's fine.
Yeah. Fame is
So
crazy.
she's
Like
a badass.
she
She
really
took back
is.
her own life very recently, which is another
Yeah.
reason why she deserves to be our femme fatale because she
Yeah.
was under that conservatorship for 13 fucking years.
Yeah.
And then she finally got herself in a place where she was able she'd been trying and had tried and tried and tried, but she
Yeah.
finally was able to get the right set of things going so that she could get out from under it, and that's incredible. It's a large amount of work, and she deserves to be applauded for
Right.
having the perseverance, and also the perseverance to, like, get up on the stand and be like, "No, no, my dad did this. He's a total fuckwit, like, get him the fuck out of here. I don't want him dealing with any part of
Right.
me,
Yeah. He doesn't
my
get
choices, none of
access to
it."
my money. Yeah. It
Yeah,
very much so. So, um,
so she's a badass.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's
Um,
because of the time that she went through
well,
it,
and
honestly. We were a
well,
lot less, like, understanding.
think about the fact that that really did like that breakdown and the fact that there's the videos and stuff of her shaving her head brought that aspect of mental illness to the forefront. I mean, we couldn't really
Mhm.
ignore that that's something that people actually go through. And
Yeah,
because you have a breakdown, even if you have more than one, like that doesn't mean you're a bad person or you don't deserve to be treated like an adult. Like it just means you don't know what else
right.
to do. So you're gonna do something weird, or crazy or whatever. Like, and I
Yeah,
just personally like without my own mental health issues, there are times where I'm like, I'm sick of my hair. I want to shave it off or I want to chop it short. But
absolutely.
yeah. But I mean it was people were judgmental to her about it at the time. I think that we can now look back on it with the things we've learned and go, oh, well, that was a mental health crisis. Like, and even
Yeah,
then I knew it, but I knew it because of what I've lived through. Like, you know what I mean? Whereas,
right.
but now we can look at it and go, like, hey, that public breakdown, it sucks, but she's not the first person to go through it, or
Yeah,
have that.
100%.
Um, and she was relatively transparent with people afterwards saying, hey, like
Yeah.
I just felt the need to do it, so I did it, like whatever, and but yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think she had said she
remember.
was tired of people, like, touching her and stuff, and
Yeah.
people were always, like, wanting to touch her hair and shit, and they were like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and so she was like, "No, fuck you. You don't get to have
Yeah.
access to me
Yeah.
in that way anymore."
Right.
Which fucking I feel that.
Well, and it did, I mean, especially with what the societal standards of beauty were at that time,
Mhm.
skin and long hair and the eyelashes, like that was the beautiful standard. And so
Yep.
by shaving her head, it was almost like saying, hey, if I take this away, am I still beautiful? Like, I don't know that that
Yeah.
was her stance on it, but that's where I was like, she's still the same person and talent on
Yeah.
the inside, but she, because her hair, like she can buy a wig, like care, you know what I mean?
Right.
Um, but yeah, there was so much judgment there.
Yeah. It was
And
bad.
it was heartbreaking. And I know I
Yeah.
think she lost custody of her sons for a bit at the
She
time,
did.
which she probably needed, as hard as
She
that
still
is.
doesn't have custody of her
She at
sons.
least has
With her son. She has
visitation
visitation
or point
rights,
for some, yeah, because they've
but she
gone
doesn't
on
have
trips and
custody.
stuff together. But yeah, but her sons are teenagers now, which is absolutely
Hmm.
insane. Um,
I know.
and she had those two babies back to back, and she was still so young. They were born what? Because her and Kevin split up, and they were
2007?
married like 2004 to 2007.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they were born really back to back. And Matt was born in 2008, and I think her shaving her head was 2008 or 9. So I totally get it, especially being a new mom and having under two at that point. I mean, they're only a year
Yeah.
apart, is just crazy. So anyway, she's somebody I
Yeah.
personally looked up to growing up. She's been
Agreed.
through her shit. She's owned it. She's doing good things, and is somebody that deserves to be happy. So
I agree.
uh
Absolutely.
definitely had to include her on the list. But do you have
Yeah.
anything else to add before I wrap things up?
No, not at all. I mean, I think you pretty much covered all of it. So
I talk a lot, I'm
we
sorry.
love her. No, not at all.
But anyway, thanks everybody for joining us again today. As always, we love hanging out with you guys, and
Hmm.
thank you, because you make this fun. Like, I came home from
Absolutely.
work and like I was still super tired, and so got our show. Like, you get pumped for it. So,
Yeah.
and that wouldn't exist without you guys. Um, don't forget to let us know if you have ideas for channel point redemptions or
Hmm.
posting funny clips. You are watching this on YouTube. Please hit that subscribe, ring the notification bell, do all the shit down there that you want to do, and
Yeah.
so you can hear more from us. But
Yeah.
check out the other LTN Media shows as well. We have Lesson, Chris, Dave, Marcus, and Drew, although Marcus might be taking a little hiatus here. But that's Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. We are here all but one Tuesday thus far since our show started.
Yeah. They're pretty
But
consistent.
every Tuesday at 5 Eastern, 4 Central. Community game nights are every Thursday. They're about 8:30 roughly Eastern, 7:30 Central, which is just a random we
Yeah.
fuck around and find out, basically.
Pretty much.
We play a game that seems interesting, and we have a good time with it. But
Yeah.
y'all get to be
Yeah.
included in it.
It's a lot of
Some
fun.
Fridays or here and there we do have like a pre-recorded thing that we rewatch live with y'all, called It Seemed Like a
Hmm.
Good Idea at the Time. But yeah, don't forget to hit that follow button,
Hmm.
notified when we go
Or
live.
if you are an Amazon Prime member and you
Yeah,
have yet to use your one free subscription every month, you don't have to use it on us. We would love it, but use it on somebody. It will make their day. It is free, so you don't lose anything. Like, it doesn't cost anything. But if you don't use it, you lose it, kind of a situation. So be sure and use it if you
and I
can.
believe you
We would
have
love it.
like to renew it. So if you
You do have to renew it. You have to
subscribe to
select it every
Prime,
month.
yeah, every month. So, but that
Yep,
gives
it's
you
not
the
automatic.
opportunity to change your Prime sub to different streamers every month. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
don't let that go to waste. But anyway, thank y'all again for hanging out. We're like what, six
Nope,
weeks, 7 weeks in, we still don't have an outro. So
something like that.
peace out.
Bye, y'all. Thank you.
Bye.